Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Daamen Live. We're back, and I'm happy to have Fyrone today. And I'm happy that I look super shiny on my new camera. Yeah, we're gonna kick off a new series. Today it's Fyrone. Next week it's Razi Z. Then Johannes is gonna come back. He did the second one, I believe. And I have a lot of other names coming up this summer. So yeah, we're back and we're going to get right into it. So let me get to Zoom. And we have Fyrone waiting for us. What's up,
Good
my friend? Now we have to speak English, you know.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's nice to have you here, man. I'm glad you decided to join and show some of your work. And, you know, the people don't really know. And I actually forgot that we met like... What is it, like 10 years ago?
12 years ago, or maybe 30 years ago already. Yeah, like a long way back indeed.
Obscure party in the north of Holland from the guys that now do Paradigm. The Kantoor.
At Kantoor. Yeah, definitely.
I didn't even remember, but it's good you knew because these were hazy days, man.
way back, definitely.
Dude, I was flying back then, you know, literally. You know, crazy. Yeah.
And we came there because indeed a good friend of us, Daamen, had a release there at Paradigm.
The Klopgeist
label. Klopgeist label.
Yeah, that's where the Paradigm whole the thing came out, I believe. These guys were always doing great stuff. I'm glad they can open again soon. I think they have the Paradigm Festival sort of planned as well. So let's hope everything stays the same in the world and we can take it from there. So yeah, that was nice, man.
Let's hope so. Yeah.
And it's good to see that you've actually been growing your music in those years as well, you know, because I remember you were always very enthusiastic. And I remember that I also teach for sound education, and you started doing the sound education in, I think, 5 years ago,
Yeah,
5 years,
yeah.
something like this. And yeah, and now, you know, I think I was speaking to Den Haas, who's, by the way, also coming on the show at some point.
Great.
He told me also, yeah, and you know, with Rob, I said, oh, of course, it's Rob. Let me call Rob. He's supposed to be on the show, you know. So
Yeah, cool.
yeah,
Yeah, indeed, we've been making music for all these years together. Indeed, I think already for 12 or 13 years together. And it's very good to have someone around to indeed discuss techniques together, to learn with each other. And
yeah,
basically, we started out with more. Indeed, also with Aaron. Unfortunately, he quit later on. But also Remco, Close to Custom is his name now.
yeah.
And yeah, we're together. The three of us right now. We're really working hard on music and really supporting each other. And we've been there together from the start. So it's really nice to be there together with the three of us. And to do this. So yeah, very happy with these guys. Definitely.
Yeah, I can imagine. It sounds good, my friend. You're putting in the work. It's all going pretty well. You know, the Resynance label is nice. I see you have a lot of Bandcamp. I just went on Bandcamp as well. You have a lot of stuff there. You know, I occasionally check the SoundClouds and stuff, but yeah, there was a lot of stuff to find. You know, it's nice to see that it's working well. And yeah, if you stay close to your buddies and you grow together, you know, at some point you will build like a nice platform, and you know, something will come out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and indeed, we started the label because we were making music, and we were always thinking, okay, the music we were making doesn't really fit to a certain kind of label. So we were really like, okay, what can we do then with our sound? You know, because it doesn't fit to this label, doesn't fit to that label. So then we just decided to start our own label.
Yeah.
So we can just put out all the creative work that we had in our minds. We can just put it on our own label, and also we can have full control. So we can really decide when we want to release music, in which form. Do we need a remix or no remix? It's really up to us. And the freedom is really great.
You're not being told, yeah, we need just that one A side. You know, just one A side, and you know, and then that goes on for a year. You know, you hear these stories a lot.
And especially the time, because indeed, if you want to release music fast, I can put on music like next week. I can put on my own release date. And if you now put on music to a bigger label, of course they're bigger, they have nice exposure, but still you're very limited to their capacity. So sometimes you're waiting for maybe a year for a track to come out, and that's it's good to have a label on the side to have your own freedom. You know.
Yeah. I also just arranged a new release. I can't, you know, you can't also say shit. So I don't even know if I should say it, but you know, it's going to be November, you know, so me and Ari have been working. So and I was like, November, September, you know, it's pretty far, but you know, it's that's the way it works these days. But yeah, you know, to have your own label, I think it's super nice. You can invite other people. You can build your own universe, you know. And I think
exactly, and you can really decide which kind of direction you want to go and how you want to do it. And that's free. The amount of freedom is really really nice to have.
Yeah, and
definitely.
And that came also from your mood board, the Resynance.
Yeah. So indeed, so the name indeed we came together here with Jack and also another friend of ours, Nathan, because we first wanted to start out as an event company.
Yeah.
So that was the initial idea actually, but then it turned out that we wanted to go for the record label side. So we decided to come up with a name.
Yeah.
And indeed, I use my whiteboard over here to have many creative ideas. So when I have a creative idea, you just put it on the whiteboard, and then that really clears off your mind. And it's really easy to look at all the names and all the things you come up with in one view. So with the name, with Resynance, we were really thinking about, okay, what's the one of our main values is synergy, really to be together and to make something bigger than the greater than sum of all its parts.
Yeah.
So we came indeed with synergy. We came indeed with the Resonance. We want to give people a feeling to feel home. And it's also with resonance in audio, of course. So something has to resonate.
Yeah, exactly.
And these three words together really came out into our new label name, which is Resynance.
Yeah.
I think it's a very unique name, and we're very proud of it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Nice. That's good to hear, man. And it's nice that you use this board because we were joking about your name, right? You better call Fyrone.
Yeah.
Better call Fyrone. That also came from the board, right? It's nice.
Exactly. I was really thinking you really have to have a unique name, of course, nowadays, and also a pronounceable name. And my real name, Rob Zuiderduin, is very, very hard to pronounce. Actually, yesterday was Archie Hamilton is busy with a new group, Propaganda, and
Okay.
I also sent him a track, and he gave some feedback.
Yeah.
And he was also streaming it on YouTube, and then I was picked out, and then he saw my real name, and he couldn't pronounce it actually.
Rob
So
Showdown. They don't know how to,
exactly,
yeah, yeah.
exactly. So it was really hard for them. So I also know that a good name should really be unique and really be easy to remember and to write
Yeah,
down.
but
And the
Fyrone
name.
sounds like a superhero, man. So you
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. So, and with the name, for me, it's about energy, and energy is for my a really important factor to give energy, to be energetic. And
I saw it on
people
your
describe-
Instagram, man. You have a great motto or like a great sentence. Like what is it? Driven by energy,
Fueled by synergy.
synergy. Yeah, nice. You know?
Exactly,
It's
that's
good.
my motto indeed.
Yeah.
And with the name, so energy was a really important factor for me. And I began thinking and being with my whiteboard how to come up with an original name. So what do I think of energy? I write down energy. I think about indeed electricity, and then you come up with another word. You
Yeah.
come up with fire.
Yeah.
And also my dad was a firefighter before.
Oh wow.
So I really want to have like a homage to him because he passed away when I was young. So I really want to
Aye.
have a homage to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then together with indeed fire and indeed with energy and all these kind of names, we came up.
Dude.
I came up with this name actually. So
That's
yeah.
That's one serious name, dude.
Yeah,
That's
and also counting the
amazing.
fact that of course I'm
Yeah.
I'm having red hair.
Yeah, so you're
that's
fire.
also
yeah, and you
definitely,
can't
yeah.
stand the sun. You know, watch out, man. You watch out
I
these
watch
days.
out.
It's good you're
Yes.
sitting in the studio now instead of being out in the sun.
I agree. I agree.
Let's see. Are there people? Actually, there's people watching. Quite a few. Let us know if you're here because I don't see any comments. Normally, I get comments, and I'm doubting if it's working actually. So just give us a shout, like, "Hey, I'm here" or something. So I just know that's working. You know, it's always nice if you can join the conversation. You're welcome to say something. Yeah, I hope it works though. Let's see. Let me just double check on one of the pages if there's comments or something that I don't see. Reacted. Please somebody write something on the comments so I can see if it works. Oh yeah, Mattia, thank you, my friend. Yes. Okay, and also, you know, if something is off or you think the sound is off, please let us know through the comments. So because we're going to dive into some projects, we're going to check out Rain and some of the free edits you made. You made some cool edits also from All Saints, which I find really cool.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, Topsky, just amazed by your 4K shininess to comment. That's so cool. Yeah, I'm super happy with my camera. I just said that like 10 times already. But yeah, enough about me. About you, I see your bass. Is that a bass or normal?
Yeah,
guitar?
it's a bass. It's a bass
yeah?
guitar indeed. It's
An
indeed,
acoustic one?
a Fender jazz bass, acoustic one indeed. The electric one, I mean, and I use it regularly in all my my production. Actually, it's really handy to have a real instrument together.
Yeah.
And I started out as a bass player. Actually, I started out as a bass player and playing in bands. And
Yeah.
then suddenly I met Jack, and Jack indeed Den Haas. He get me into the feeling of electronic music.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, I learned from him the starting point of Ableton, and then later on, I used the bass to indeed play and to incorporate it into the sound. So
It's nice, yeah, because I listened to the track you did together. I can't remember which one because I went to a lot, but I could hear the bass. So you record the bass a lot in your man. I think bass is maybe one of my favorite, like the top 3 favorites. You know, I do like piano as well. I have to choose. You know, I don't know, bass.
Yeah, piano is indeed also
bass
very
is the groove.
very
the
nice.
hi-hat and the bass are my favorites, I think. Hi-hats
Yeah,
and
the
bass.
hi-hat,
Yeah. So yeah, okay, we got Argentina in the house. Nice, Julian. Thank you for tuning in. Great. Stork is online as usual. Great. Nice. We've got a nice bunch of people watching. And shall we just listen to Rain for a bit? Because I have it here under the button because I wanted to
Go ahead.
show a bit of the music that you do so people can have a listen to what Fyrone, what Fire is all about. Let's go for it. What a track. Jesus. Yeah, it's super nice, man. And if Jack came up with the vocal, he's got an ear for vocals, because I fucking hammered this Wesseltoft remix, this free download he has. Man, I just told you, like, I played it on every gig in like the year for the pandemic. You know, I was in love with this record. So
Yeah, he really has an ear for these things, definitely. So really jealous indeed how he finds these kind of gems. So I'm happy to remix them. Definitely.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice that you still work together, man. It's so long ago. I think we bumped into each other a few times back in the day, and you guys are together. It's nice that you're still are. You know, that's friendship and music. It's the best.
Definitely. Yeah.
And yes, say love the track and the voice. When you invite and then Haas to cheers from Mexico. Mexico. Den Haas, I've spoke to him. I think he's gonna let me know by the end of this month or something. He was going on holiday. That was it. He was going on holiday, so he'll let me know. He's gonna be here soon. So make sure to stay tuned. And everybody checking, make sure to subscribe, because there's a lot of stuff coming. Hey, and Fyrone, you've got the mini log there. I see the core MS-20.
Yeah.
I can't see what the guy below there is. You got a 19 inch.
This is a Mackie 1604, I guess. It's just for getting distortion, but right now it's not connected, so I'm actually not using it at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's indeed the Korg Minilog. That one I'm using more regularly indeed.
Yeah.
Also the last few weeks, not so much actually. I'm more staying in the box.
Yeah.
But Jack is really good with the Minilog actually. So when we make music together, he's really good with it.
Yeah.
And MS-20 indeed is more a monophonic synth. So I use it in sun showers actually. I use it in the PFV release at sun showers.
Yeah.
And I also got a Arturia Microbutte, but I also actually never use it. So for me, it's sometimes use it. It's very good to have them around, but not always.
Yeah, I had phases with my hardware that I would like use it and make some tracks, but it's also a bit more work, you know, with the cables and recording it, and it's also with the audio. So sometimes it's nice to also just work in the box, you know.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
All my stuff is now in Holland, but my parents are coming, and so they're gonna bring some stuff. So I might have my Electron back, but it's nice to have this. And these hardware outboard gear, these 19-inch racks, what is it?
Below?
Yeah.
I've got it's the Yamaha TX81Z. That's basically the 19-inch version of the DX7.
Oh, cool.
So the classic, so really the lady
FMC.
bass, which you just heard from Rain, comes out of this machine actually.
Ah, cool.
So you will. So when I will show you the track, you will actually hear it from the machine coming.
Oh, nice! Oh, how cool!
So that's really the original house sound. You know, really house bass actually.
Yeah.
So
cool.
that's and a fun story about this thing is actually that it was belonging to the three of us. So actually to me, to Jack, and to Remco, close to custom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He just.
So we sold it to each other. So and now it's mine. So I will keep it. So,
So first one had it, then sold it to the other, and now it's actually all three. It's still all three of yours. You just gave each other money.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's here actually. Nice. Welcome, close to custom. Remco, is it?
Remco it is.
He asked, "Hi Rob, analog or digital?"
Oh, that's a question. Yeah, that's the hard one, eh? But I think, you can do so many in the box nowadays. So I prefer digital because indeed you can really save easier. You can store your parameters. You can quickly start again. But in the meantime, analog is really, of course, more in the moment. So without a computer, really on no screen, you know, it's more indeed more vintage sound.
It's a lot to say. The interface is easier, but then, you know, like Johannes is going to be soon. In 2 weeks, Johannes is going to be here. Malbetrieb, you know, from Klopgeist.
Yeah.
They used to be Malbetrieb. And I always love to talk to him about hardware. He's got such a philosophy that he even when it cuts down his whole computer, he bought a DAT recorder now to really skip the whole computer thing and just record the pre-master straight to DAT and then send it off to labels, you know, if they want to release something. So
for me, I think the best way is actually to have a combination, to have a hybrid setup. So
yeah,
you need
I
a
also
digital audio
never,
workstation, and in the meantime, of course, some analog for some nice grid, some nice sounds. So,
I could never say
that's the best.
I could never say bye to my Ableton, you know.
There you go.
You know, they would get angry with me. Hey, Danny's here. Danny Farrell, nice one, man. Our Scottish friend, Irish friend. Sorry, dude. Oh, here you just saw the Rain remix from Bandcamp. Great, that's nice. Max
Great.
Lightweight. Looking forward to start with you, my friend. He's gonna follow my course soon, which is nice. Yeah, we got the crew up in here. Nice. It's good to see everybody's here. So cool, man. It's nice to see that the whole studio is there. You can have some play, so you can or do business on the board, or you can DJ. You have a little desk in the back, and you can use your hardware. It's super nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so on this side, I just mainly use for DJing. Indeed, I got two turntables, so two SL 1200s,
Yeah.
and I use basically Tractor with it. So really, to indeed, I have some records I want to play, but same thing, also a hybrid setup.
Yeah.
So you can play digitally and also play records at the same time, and that's I think my favorite setup.
Yeah.
I got a Xone 92, which is actually my favorite mixer. Really
Yeah.
nice filters, definitely nice
Yeah.
to
I
mix
love
on.
it. Yeah. I used to have it as well.
So yeah, that's basically just the DJ part, and indeed that's more the production part, indeed, with all the synths I would just mentioned actually.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, of course, the room. So for me, the room is the most important thing actually of the studio, the acoustics and how it sounds like, and
Yeah.
that's if you have like only one budget and only got like 1,000 euros to invest. Go for your room and go for good speakers.
Yeah.
Because that's the most important thing to me.
You need to fix the room. I always teach it in my advanced class, man. I bought these add-ons, but I'm here in a square room. So yeah, for now, I'm looking for something more permanent at some point. But the room is so important. So I'm now on Sonarworks and my headphones, but it's also tiring, man. So it's nice to have a good room. Yeah, you also build the acoustics for the Kreuziger boys. Was it the Kreuziger boys? Yeah, right. They mentioned you. That was how I got put on. Like, made that list. It's so nice.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so indeed, I already they came in my studio, and they did a remix for my I think it was the Solid Moonshine track on LA Deep.
Okay.
So also one of my bigger tracks actually, and they did a remix for it. So we indeed came together here as well.
Yeah.
And then they were pretty amazed by the sound here in the studio. And unfortunately, I'm wearing headphones at the moment, but indeed the sound is really flat and very neutral.
Yeah.
And they were amazed, and they had a room which was very boomy.
Yeah.
So then indeed I decided to help them out and then to show them what they have to do. And
And they did a good job. I was there I think just before I left to Spain. I was in the studio because I was making music with Ari, and they're just across the room. So I ended like, hey, you guys pimped it, yes. Better call Fyrone. So if anybody needs some help with acoustics, you better call Fyrone.
exactly.
All right, so we have Yannick Guzman Sierra. What a great name. I really want to understand how do you make your synth lines and grooves. Well, Jamal, you came to the right place because we're going to get into some projects. So that's nice. And Yesin is online. Great you're here, my friend. Always tuning in. So yeah, let's dive into a project. You can share your screen and let's dive into. I'm really curious. I have so many questions for you also.
Okay, you see the screen now, right?
Yeah, it's totally good.
Now you get a full screen.
Yeah.
So indeed, this is the Rain remix you just listened to actually. But this is so how it usually started actually one project actually to start the creativity, so the arrangement and also indeed just the loop phase.
Yeah.
And then when I finish this one, then I just go with mixing. So I really have a separate session which I'll also show after this project, where I really fine tune the details and to make it sound good. So this project is more like a raw concept.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really sound that well yet, but when you come later on to the more mixed project, then you can really listen and it sounds much better.
Yeah.
Cool. So this track actually came with the track from Den Haas, which is the original. So if I can let you hear, and let me know if you can hear the sound.
Yeah.
You can hear it, huh?
Yes.
How's the volume?
Yeah, it's good. It could be maybe a bit louder, music-wise.
Louder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So he made more like a breakbeat kind of track.
Yeah.
He sent me all the parts, and then I decided to wrap it up and really make a remix out of it. And if I skip a little bit to it, so then here comes the bass line. I'm not sure, it's not warping. And then suddenly it comes with the vocal later on, or triangles. And then here comes the first break. And I think the vocal is coming here and here. vocal is from Brandy.
Oh, Brandy, no shit.
Yeah.
That's my 90s crush.
Yeah, she's really good. Nice vocal. So it's more like a breakbeat, kind of deep, kind of track.
Ah man, dude.
Yeah, it's really good.
He's really into the breakbeats lately.
Yeah. So then if we continue, now the more like the pads come in, and I use also these same pads in my own remix. And then the main break is like with the vocal indeed, with the feedback.
So well done, like such a tune. Den Haas,
Yeah.
He's here, such a tune. Yeah, Den Haas, this is by Den Haas. How do you get that vocal? Yeah, I think from Brandy or something. So yeah, it's just like processing.
Yeah, so then, so this is basically the main track. So really the nice vocal, really breakbeat, nice drums, big bass. So I needed to remix this. And then, so normally when he makes like a breakbeat kind of track, then I start to make more like a 4 to the floor kind of track.
Yeah,
So,
you need to keep it, keep the variety high, you know? Yeah.
Exactly. So
cool. Then
I just started with the track you just heard. So I need more with the 4 to the floor kind of beat.
Yeah.
And I started indeed just normally like all producers do. You start with a basic kick. So let me just put everything off and then start with the beginning. There you go. So just start with a regular kick. Just it's actually an 808. Nothing serious because indeed the mixing processing really comes on later in a different session.
Yeah.
Then I mainly use loops actually to get really the groove going, you know. So then indeed I got a loop, and I add another loop. And this one's really boomy, so indeed I described here boomy. So then later on in the mix, I know that I have to fix this.
Yeah, so you also mix after the session. So you first make the music. I'm a big supporter for this because I can focus fully on the music, and then I can focus fully on the mix. I really love to separate it. Otherwise, I get confused in what I'm really doing.
Yeah, because indeed the creative mind is a very different mind than the mind which really is more rational.
Yeah.
So it's much better to indeed have a creative session and later on be a more rational session. So that's why I always switch them. And Jack actually also does the same thing.
Yeah. Well, then we're all three. We're really smart.
Yeah, I guess. So Jack he sent me basically the parts of all of this track. So what I usually do is just load it into Ableton in all the different tracks.
Yeah.
So all the things which says mix down, that's basically the parts I use from Jack. So here's mix down, and I think there should be more somewhere, but yeah. There should be more. Here you go. A lot more. So I cut them and then I decide which kind of part I really like, and then I really flip them around and then really use them. Yeah. So that's how you start basically the project. So just to continue, we'll make a beat. And with the clap come in. And snares, 909. Close that. Coming in here. Right, so it's really like a raw project, not much going on, and then you want to get some ambience. So indeed, we start the track actually with now I have to put it all back on again with some ambience. Also, Jack showed me some ambience sounds. Yeah. So here in the beginning, here you go. It's like an ambient FX, and it's really you almost cannot
really
hear
soft.
it.
Yeah, I also do that a lot. Yeah. To get sort of like this glue in your track.
It's actually just people like. It's just a little bit of ambience in there, so it doesn't make it very dry. Yeah. And then also started with the crowd. I have to put this one off. So also you have some crowd on the back, which is cheering.
Yeah, that's always. I haven't done that for a long time. That's always great.
just as some
And
background.
it's super soft that you actually don't really hear it, but when you mute it, you miss it, sort of.
You
like,
miss it,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
And indeed, of course, in the mixing session, you really go more into depth. So now you see, I didn't do any processing on it. It's basically only some automation.
yeah.
So then if you continue in the track, let me see, because it's indeed a big file. Let me maybe just chop a section. So here nothing is really happening yet. And then here indeed the shaker comes up, it really gets a little bit more feel, because without the shaker you can really hear the difference. It's really subtle, but
Yeah.
and then this is actually apart from Jack, which I just copied, and then I think I just I think I cut it, or maybe it's just
Watch
paste.
out, Jack is watching, so he will see exactly what you did, and he goes, "Hey, you just copied it from my track. You should have remixed that too."
That's okay, you know. As long for me, a remix should really be like another interpretation. It should be original, but it should look a little bit like the original track, actually.
Yeah, I think it also should be it should resemble a bit of the original.
Yeah, and then we got the organ, which I also, of course, add from Jack because it's a remix. The vocal.
Vocal,
and then some
man.
triangles.
Yeah, the vocal is such a... I'm really wondering, I'm gonna ask him how he did, if he used Melodyne or something to pitch it, you know.
And now I came up here with a short, with a pad, which is actually from Diva.
Yeah, one of my favorite plugins, but it's so heavy, man.
And I also begin indeed with it in the intro, and then I did a filter just to get it up.
Yeah.
And then you just build up your track.
I like the falling.
And now the loop is on.
Yeah, and then nobody drops. Yeah.
And then you get these like Chinese kind of sounds. That's what I named them.
Yeah.
And that's also it's a DX7. Actually. And that's this one. It's a very nice plugin actually.
Is it Arturia?
Yeah, and it's just a preset, you know, and I tweaked it a little bit because there's a star in here, so I'm not sure what I really exactly tweaked.
Yeah.
But it sounds so good already, you know,
Yeah.
it really sounds nice.
Yeah, really nice sound, yeah.
And what you hear is basically the echo so echo is really my main goal to keep things a little bit fresh.
Yeah.
So if you hear it, it sends to the echo, and then without the echo, it's this. And you hear a little bit of the reverb, but it's so much different because the echo really spices up the groove, you know, really gives it a life. It's really, it fades away, and it's really
depth. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I use it on a lot of my tracks actually. Echo is really my go-to tool.
Likewise, likewise. Did you also used to use the Waves H delay in the past?
Yeah, I used it, and it's the orange one, right?
Yeah, and then Echo came, and I forgot all about H delay.
Yeah, indeed. So it's of course the convenience of the Ableton Echo is really nice, and I always I used to put it on ping pong, and I put it more on mid side. So then indeed the sound goes really more to the sides actually, instead of flipping all the way around.
And it's just the basic setting, right? The 1/8 and the dotted. I also have it always like I just leave it on that and just tweak the settings.
But it's very good to experiment actually with the time settings, because then you can really get interesting combinations if you flip them around, because you can really get different grooves.
Yeah, I also like the modulation part. If you modulate a bit the timing and.
Yeah, but you can put it off, because that's basically the repitch. If you put it off, then and you switch timing, then it doesn't have that sound.
Doesn't make the.
Exactly. But it can still be very creative to have it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd use the modulation, the middle one, the modulation one, to modulate the delays slightly. I find it really cool. But sometimes if you do too much, it gets a bit out of hand. But it's really cool to play around with.
Yeah. So then we move up in the track. So it's really we're still at the 2 minutes mark. It's really easy going. And then I see that something is not working yet. Yeah, there you go. So my lately bass is actually not working, because we're now in the Zoom setup.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if that will work. Let's see if it works, Camiel.
Yeah, it should. If it comes in from the Fireface, then it should. Yeah, you know, why not? Zoom, test the Zoom. Let's see.
Yeah, but now it should be working. 27 it says. Oh yeah, I got it because I got a 400 and 800 linked together.
Okay, look at you.
Now you go.
There you go.
So this is basically the lately based
This is
TX817Z I just mentioned about. It's
What
really
a
like the house
sound.
bass. That's really the sound. It's
Looks like it's a bit late now.
slow.
Yeah.
It's delaying, huh?
Yeah, I think it's a bit late because it first has to come in and then it's like, oh shit, we have to go to Zoom.
No, it doesn't work, huh?
Yeah.
Syncing. Yeah. That's a pity. That's a
That's
pity
too
because now
bad.
then you cannot really hear the.
But the bass is great though. The sound's amazing. I'm not sure if we can. Yeah, it probably is just
Yeah, I think it's a delay indeed, so it doesn't really work.
And this is one of my favorite sounds. Like such a bass line is really like, I don't know. It just triggers so many great tracks and
Yeah, it's really the house sound. It's really the main house sound from the 90s.
And
so
what
the
key
machine
was
is also.
what key was this track in actually?
What key?
Yeah.
You mean the musical key I'm playing?
Yeah.
Because
C sharp.
I have no. I think it's in C. What is it? This is C sharp.
C sharp. Cool.
And then just a little bit jam, but I think it doesn't sing now. Does it delay still?
Slightly.
Doesn't sound really good yet.
Let's
But
do
then, so indeed, the lady bass is a very big part. And then
Yeah.
also I began with I called it actually the ATB bass. And that's actually my guitar.
Yeah.
And that's the bass guitar I'm actually playing. So it's
Nice.
just my bass,
Yeah.
just a little bit of reverb, the convolution, and a little bit of chorus.
Yeah. So you
Also
played
synth.
it an octave higher than the house bass.
I think so.
What's this Centaurus?
It's actually like one of my favorite chorus plugins.
Oh, cool. From
So you can
D16.
really, if I really, so now you can really hear the chorus going on.
Nice.
So it's a really nice chorus plugin actually. I use it on all my basses, synths, etc. And then I cut off the low so you don't get really muddle in the stereo imaging.
Yeah.
And then it's a really nice one actually.
Centaurus.
Lately I'm also using from UAT the Barricade chorus actually. It's also a nice one. This one is also very good.
Cool.
But it's from Universal Audio.
Yeah.
It's also
wanna-
nice,
yeah.
and it really spaces up the tracks. It really can spaces up the stereo field.
Yeah. What a tune.
So yeah, unfortunately you have to do it without the lately bass then.
Yeah. Unfortunately, well, the rest is also really good.
And now the brace comes in and the vocal. Yeah, now you should hear the lately, but. So, and this is actually just a pad, also from the default I just showed you, but then I just changed up the keys actually. That was the same from the opening,
Yeah.
and now I changed a little bit the chords basically,
Yeah.
and I open up the filter, and then it really gives with a reverb, really gives like a euphoric kind of sound.
Yeah.
And also so this one is also very nice. Really, it's the higher sounds. Also, just the preset of
Yeah, a little bit tweaked.
like arpeggiator.
Nice. Such a
this one.
musical track. Yeah,
It
nice.
sounds already so good. Also with the reverb tail, it's really
Yeah,
nice.
beautiful.
So I use that one.
Yeah.
And I also, so this is actually the one from Jack, and that's indeed the main synth in the track.
Yeah.
Now it's on the back, and now it opens a bit. You hear it now?
Yeah.
And I did a little trick with this actually, because he just sent me the Rhodes, and then I wanted, of course, make a remix. So I wanted to make something different than what he did. So this was original the Rhodes, and then I put on the Filter Freak. So this was the original Rhodes.
Yeah. Yeah, man, this
And then
filter freak, I use it
and this
a
one, you're
lot.
also very
Yeah.
big fan of sound toys. I saw on your
Yeah,
Instagram
yeah,
page
man.
here.
It's great to just have a pad or a chord and just go to these rhythm sections of Filter Freak and just add some movement to it. It's a bit like
Yeah,
tantra
because
in a
it's
way.
really
Yeah.
with this thing on, it's so different.
Yeah, for these techniques, I also use sometimes the Fab Filter Pro Q3 of the Fab Filter Volcano. Also has great presets like this that you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's also a really good plugin to
Yeah,
use. And but
yeah.
I really like the convenience of this one. You just select the preset, and you can really change like a different dynamic.
Yeah, yeah.
And it really gives it more like a rhythmic feel.
Yeah.
And
Nice. Yeah, it's a cool trick, man. Yeah, it's nice. I was actually planning to do a tutorial on this.
really plays it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, super nice. Hey, we get a tip here from Jamal. He says the RPA mod from Rob Papen is also a very nice chorus and a micro shift from Sound Toys. Nice.
Okay, nice.
I haven't never
Nice.
checked the micro shift. I will check it out. And also I have the Rob Papen bundle, but I'm not sure if the RPA mod's in there. I should check it out. I have the Explorer bundle from Rob Papen. So nice. Thanks,
I
Jamal.
also have the Microsoft, but I haven't used it before, so I will check that out. Thanks.
Yeah,
So,
likewise. Yeah, see,
nice.
you know, this is Dive in Life. You know, everybody dives in a bit.
Exactly. So continue with the track without the lately bass,
Yeah.
which is actually the fundament of the
Yeah,
track.
it's
So
too
it's
bad.
a hard thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Because it's still delaying. Yeah. And so the vocal, indeed, also Jack gave me the vocal and I chopped it up a little bit. But in the big parts, I use it, of course, as Jack used it,
Yeah.
and also with a little bit of echo. Because this was the dry version. And then with
Yeah. Yeah.
now you're really spicing it up and you really create a dynamic thing.
Yeah, you're using the convolution reverb on your synth, I see.
Yeah, and you actually hear it singing. You actually hear it keep on singing. And I think I did something with the feedback over here of the echo. A little bit, not so much,
just a
not so
little
much.
bit.
So
Yeah,
what I sometimes do is indeed in a break, you put up the feedback, and then with the feedback you can really create a nice build up, you know.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if I put on the feedback here a little bit, it will distort a little bit actually. And that you can really use for a breakup.
Yeah, for build up. Yeah.
For build up.
Yeah.
And then you can fade it out and then whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
with it,
yeah, you
actually.
can
So
even
that's-
put it on over 106 and then it will keep on going and then you can filter it back up again when you get to a next stage and suddenly that delay comes even back, you know, like it's really
but
cool.
you really have to indeed watch the input
Yeah,
then, because indeed the more input you give, the more distortion you will get actually.
Yeah.
And it's distortion is nice, but you have to be a little bit sparse with it, of course. So,
and it gets out of hand quickly. You know, I guess show this technique to one of my students, and like a few days later, hey, it's getting super loud in that project. What did you do? I said, yeah, watch the feedback. Oh, it's the feedback that's causing this.
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
They don't
It's the
get
feedback. You have to
technique,
be
you
careful
know?
with it. So I have multiple times where me and Jack were sitting in the studio, and the feedback really squeaks up a lot, and then we really have to put out the feedback. So
Yeah,
it was really funny.
I always put like the point before I do it. I put it a bit back. Like I find a spot where I can click. So when it's like ding 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 ding, I click on the point where I know the feedback is low, and then it will stop.
Yeah,
it's
I will just
horrible
normally
when
just
that
go to the to on off button, and then
it's
you're also
then you're also there. Yeah,
fine.
true.
Yeah. So then if you continue in the track, so this is like the main kind of build.
Yeah,
You need the synth, the pad, the nice arpeggiator kind of stuff. Yeah, and then there's also a little bit of an arpeggiator, which builds up.
oh yeah, very subtle.
And you will hear it building up here.
Also Arturia.
And then you see clear it in the context, of course. It's just on the back, just a little bit of a vibe.
Yeah,
But now it's really different. Really opens up.
yeah. Nice. And then when the drop comes, it drops.
Okay, and then if you continue, then I decided to put on another arpeggiator, which is actually coming from June, which is also one of my favorite plugins.
Oh yeah, it's a UAE also, right?
It's a very nice one. I think the track sounds slower to me for some kind of reason. But so now this one comes up, and it's also just, I think it's also just a preset from June.
Wow.
Yeah, it sounds so good already, man. And I put the settings on high CPU because I got a new iMac, so I can do this now finally.
Yeah, nice.
For nice audio quality.
Hey, but is
and
it
this one really goes in the back. This really goes because a little bit more dynamic in the back. It really builds up a little bit more like a darker vibe.
It's very nice musical minimal house. I don't know how you call it.
Such a difference.
Yeah.
I cannot hear you, Camiel, when I play the music. What did you say?
It's such very like musical minimal house, you know. It's like it's not this track is like very lots of musical elements, but not so heavy on the groove or something, you know. Really well.
No,
well
more musical indeed. It's much more musical, and but I tend to make more musical kind of stuff, but I also like to go more into like the more raw, minimal kind of vibe and more drums.
Yeah.
But it's a hard thing to do for me actually. I tend to go to synths and to arpeggiators and pads and these kind of stuff. So it's also a lesson for me actually.
Yeah.
To be more on the groove.
And are you you're not musically trained? Do you know music theory or not? Do you know which key you just play something? You just go fully by ear.
It's mainly by ear, but also some tricks which are very good is indeed in Ableton. You have the I use the push, so I have the Ableton push here.
Yeah.
For me, it's like one of the best controllers Ableton has. Actually, it's really, if you really want to have one piece of equipment for Ableton, go for the Ableton push.
Yeah.
The push 2, and then of course you can set it on scale, and then you will automatically play in the scale. So that's what I usually you do. And then you can, whatever you play, it's always in tune. And what Jack also does actually is when you have like a synth or a pad, he actually goes to I think it's it's a MIDI effects. It's the chord.
Oh, the chord. Yeah. It's also
so he puts it in, and then you just select. No, not the chord. It's scale. I think it's scale. Scale.
Yeah. You stay in the. It's basically the same thing that push does. You know.
Basically the same thing, and then indeed whatever thing you play will always be in the same in its key that you selected. So that's what Jack mainly uses. So it's one way or the other. But indeed, I'm not musical trained. I know a little bit of music. Of course, with sound education, we had a little bit of lessons in music theory. But mainly it's just what sounds good and the right combinations. Just trial and error. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, just play around and you'll get somewhere. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Just play around and go. So. Indeed, so that's basically the whole track. It's the lately bass is really the fundament. So unfortunately you cannot hear it, but yeah. Also, one thing about the lately bass, if you use it, it has a really nice velocity. So now it's armed. So when I play it now, when I play it really softly, you get really like the more subby kind of sound. But when I play it loud, you get really like a distort kind of sound.
Yeah, nice.
So it's really nice to play with the velocity. So normally I just, indeed, if you have the bass, now it's more like a subby kind of bass. And when I select now all, and you put it up, you can really make it more aggressive, you know.
Yeah, the filter.
So you can do it actually in arrangement if you really want to have more like an aggressive build up to the drop, or indeed with the break you can actually just do this part. You can make it low. This part you can make it higher. You know, I didn't do it now because I really like this sound, but you can indeed wrap it up a little bit, so it really builds up.
Yeah, it's great when you do a bit of sound design on sounds and you like you connect the velocity to the filter on the synth. You know, every synth can usually do that. You know, it's a powerful trick, especially if you have a bass pattern that every hit is going to be slightly different because of the velocity. So you get the feeling the pattern is more interesting. You know, instead of just very static.
It's more variance. You know, so that's indeed, of course, I think a good track is a combination of two things, which is indeed one thing is of course variations, and the other thing is consistency. So you really want people really want to have some consistency to keep on hold on, or else you cannot follow it, and also some variation to not keep it boring. So the balance between these two is really important for a good track, and always hard to make as well. So indeed, these little kind of things really help, and also automation, of course. Automation really builds up your track. So I use a lot of automation, especially within the break. So indeed, with when I start, so indeed without the lately bass, where is it here? You fade out the drums a little bit. I fade in the arpeggiator. So here the lately is still on.
Well, that would be called movement.
What do you say, Camiel?
That would be called movement. So you have movement, dynamic, and if you think like it's a very important part. So things are moving. Some things is moving away. Some things are moving up. Some things are getting filtered. Things going left and right. So movement, I guess, is also very important. Like the automation that you do. It's nice. And volume is very powerful. If you just do this all with volume. And I also see filters, filters and volume, nice.
Yeah, so for filters, I use on the basses. I use actually to filter the kick. I'm not sure if I use it this one. No, I didn't use it here, but maybe the bass I filtered with I think the Moog. So this is also a plugin from UAT. From Universal Audio.
This one, Elke Klein.
And I think it has they are very famous for the filter. So this filter, I really like the filter of the Moog actually, and So here the cutoff comes a little bit. So here I build towards the break, and then the filter opens. I think it will open here somewhere. Yeah, here it opens.
Yeah, it's going,
So really removes the bass little by little.
Hey,
and then.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can finish. What happens then?
So then indeed we come in the break.
Yeah.
So that really makes that it not so abrupt. So if you suddenly just remove the bass, then people are like, oh, where did the bass go? We missed the bass. So if you really do it more gradually and more with automation, then really you fade out a little bit. I think it's common sense, but it's good to mention.
Yeah, it makes the whole thing a bit more natural. Yeah. One question about the UAT, because you have a Fireface interface, so you probably have like one of these external UAT cards.
Yeah, I have got 2 cards, which is the UAT satellites. I got one which is actually a quad satellite from Firewire. I already had it for maybe like 8 years or so. And then I also got an Octo, I think, at the moment, which is satellite, the newer type of satellites.
I have a Duo at home, man. I had one. I gave it to my friend Jaron because I wasn't using it. I didn't have any Firewire anymore. And I thought, he's doing mixing for his profession, and I was moving here. I said, dude, you take the UAT card. So it's a great, these plugins are sounding amazing,
Yeah, and I think it's good if we dive into the next project, which is actually the mixing of this part in the sake of time. Because then, so this project is more like the arrangement and more indeed like the creativity, like I just told you.
Yeah.
And now we move basically to the mixed project.
Yeah.
And then there I really uses the plugins. And I saw Krojiger also use the Pultex. I think I recommended them like years ago.
Yeah.
The Pultec EQ is the best EQ I ever heard. It's really warm, mellow, and it's really good. And I use it a lot actually. I think on almost all of my buses and tracks and.
Oh, cool! Yeah, also for the high end and stuff in the mid range.
Yeah. Also definitely, it really gives a little warm kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's a good EQ, man. Yeah, I can't wait to have a good space and have a nice room to mix in, man.
That's important. So this is actually the same track what we just heard, and now it's more organized, as you can see, with more colors. I'm really with the colors and organizing because it's more rational process.
Yeah.
So what I actually did, so it's the same track, and now it's mixed.
Yeah.
So it might be a little bit louder. Now we hear the lately bass finally because there's no delay because it's not playing live.
Yeah.
So let me just wrap it up for you here. So what I did is actually I had a low end bus, I had a drum bus, I have a synth bus, which all the melodic stuff.
Yeah.
I got a vocal bus, some effects, and I got my original returns. And the original returns are actually the ones that I used in the project before. So like the echo I just let you hear, that was exported from Ableton, and you can easily do this by just going to live with the export, and then go to all individual tracks.
Yeah.
So if you export your project with all individual tracks, and then you have like I just have it over here. So you have each channel you have exported.
Yeah.
And so from the previous project I export all these individual tracks and I import them back in here. Yeah. And then I can easily just mix every channel,
But do you also include the like if you go back to the render? When do you include return? If you go back to the render the unit?
The export.
Yeah, the export. Yeah, then you have like the rendering options include.
I don't.
Okay. All right. So you don't get your because that would give you your return tracks per track. sort of, you know?
Yeah, but that would be a little bit too much for me because I'm already
Yeah.
at 43 tracks over here, and I got like the original returns. I have them over here.
Ah, so you
So
render them themselves, and yeah, okay.
yeah, so here are like this is the echo combination of all tracks.
Yeah. Okay, yeah,
So this is the
yeah,
vocal, this is the synth, this is
yeah,
everything
yeah,
together. The same with the convolution reverb and the synthorus, and I can mix them in however I want.
yeah,
I can decrease the volume. I can also ignore them and do another reverb, whatever I want.
yeah.
So that's really easy for me to process. And I also include the unmixed part, so that I can reference between in my track while I'm mixing. I can
Let's see
always
where you're going.
reference. So
Yeah,
now this is the mixed one you're hearing, of course,
yeah,
and you can always reference back to like the unmixed part. And you can really, of course, you should check the volume
yeah,
because the volume is very important when mixing. So I always check it here. So here it says the volume, the peak is around -13.
yeah,
And now if I look at my other one, it's also around -13.
yeah. So you know you're not
Yeah, you're not
cheating
fooled,
yourself.
There's
Yeah,
a little,
yeah.
like maybe 1 dB, but I
Yeah.
really can check on, oh, I did well actually the mix. So it's
Yeah.
really, I think, a good tip to after you're done mixing to check it up, because
Yeah.
this one is much more unbalanced and not so defined, because indeed, really, here are we mixing,
Yeah. Hey, and did
So,
you become
yeah.
you become such a pro mixer due to sound education? Like I think that's a big part in this whole process, right? Or
Yeah. I did a little. I learned a lot mixing from sound education. Actually, I
Yeah.
did a lot of lessons indeed in mixing there.
Yeah.
And for me, it's always the same process actually. So how I begin is indeed I just load in the tracks. I define them to groups. I give them nice colors. I need to get some nice shortcuts so I can easily skip to all the kind of parts in the track.
Yeah.
That's easy. And then basically, so I got a template. So I already got my short plate is here over here. That's like a short reverb with like a Valhalla plate or an EMT. This one I'm also using a lot from UAT.
Yeah. Nice.
I got some reverb from the drums, which is the convolution reverb with the German theater preset. It's really a nice preset actually, because this is the drums, and then I'm not sure if you. Yeah, reverb is also a thing. If you remove it, you should miss it. But if you add it, you should also not hear the reverb. It's like a more a thing on the back.
Yeah, not too much. Yeah, otherwise you.
But this is
cloud up the
really.
mix. Yeah.
Yeah, you can. It's a really nice reverb to have. And then I got a long reverb, which is also convolution, but then more long one. But I'm not using it actually this one because indeed I didn't set it up yet because it's still short.
Yeah.
I use a slap delay sometimes, which is just handy for vocals.
Yeah.
To have a short slap delay. The chorus again. So indeed the Brigade or Synthorus, some parallel compression. My favorite is definitely the Neve.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Also from Hewitt, it's a great plugin for parallel compression.
Yeah.
And a saturation bus. So indeed, so I also have it here actually.
Oh yeah.
But the
which ones do you have on there? You also a radiator. Oh yeah. I know
all the sound toy stuff.
Yeah.
Actually.
I have now. Yeah, maybe I should get into that as well. Cassette. Who was it that showed me cassette? Forget who showed me this one.
It's actually new, so I put it on my template. So when I go mixing, I remind myself, oh yeah, I got cassette, Yeah, so it's really easy to put it on and just put it off, and then when you need it, you just put it on.
Yeah, I'm a big fan now of the Redopter from a D16 group. I bought that plugin I think already 3 years ago, and I now made Redopter 2, and just the one that it opens with is called Hot Rod. Man, it sounds really like old school shit. Oh, you have it? Yeah, the Hot Rod.
I think I have it. Yeah,
dude, check it out. It's ridiculous. Like this.
Yeah.
Yours opens on a different one. Mine opens at the Hot Rod, the preset.
Oh, okay. That's maybe a different version then.
Yeah.
But indeed, I will check this out, Camiel. The 16 plugins are also they're very good. So that's indeed Synthorus but the Decimort, that's also a very good one actually.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I use it in this one.
Yeah, it's so nice.
I'm not sure.
This is already a great session. We seem to like vibing like crazy here on these plugins. Yeah, this one, yeah.
Yeah, there are some favorites I use, and then
Yeah.
I'm very enthusiastic about these. So,
Yeah.
and I
Likewise.
also, for me, it's very handy. I categorize them with the colors actually. So I got like all my favorite plugins. I categorize them with the colors. So for me, it's like saturation, distortion, and like bit crushes. All the plugins are over
they're up
here
there. Yeah,
that I mainly use.
Yeah.
The same with dynamics, which is compressors, limiters, de-essers. I always put them over here. EQs, some are actually double. So like I got this knee thing, which is like a channel strip, which is also a compressor. So then I just put it two colors. Chorus, some to get some stereo imaging, echoes, delays, reverb, and then I got all my synthesizer plugins. I put them here in purple, and some mastering and other stuff. I just put them on.
So
on
basically,
gray.
you have it all tweaked to external. I have a lot of samples in my collections and stuff. Samples and ideas. For the creative part, it would be great if you have. I still, I still want to let Ableton know why don't we only have like 6 collections or so or 7. Why not have like why can't we just strip it out or make folders within the collections or something?
So indeed, I what I did with the samples, I also have like I built my organized sample library, which is also a very good thing for me to do. So I decided to make some folders indeed, and then some subfolders. So just here all my kicks, all my kicks I regularly use, and I also divided them into more like the deep kind of kicks. So these are more like the low kind of kicks,
Yeah, nice.
And then I also decided to have a more like the punchy, which is really like the 909.
Yeah.
Another 909, like mainly 909s actually.
Yeah. 909.
So this helped me really speed up my workflow. All the claps, all my hi-hats, and I use a lot of loops actually, which is really the fundament of all my tracks. I will show it in a different project later on.
Yeah, this is a great session. You have a really great workflow, and I get the feeling that you love mixing.
Yeah, I do actually. I spend days mixing. It's not good, but I can spend all day mixing. It's not good for the ears because you really get subjective. So it's really good to have your breaks and not get too involved into the mixing process. But I just love it, man. I really like to make something really good and to really get that diamond shine. That's
nice.
what I really like. Yeah.
That's a great perspective. I love
if we continue with this track,
go for it.
So I divide them in different buses. So here I got like all my low end, which is my kick.
Yeah.
This is the lately bass, my own bass, which I played.
Yeah.
And the brass you hit in this one in the breaks.
Yeah.
So I did some processing on the things itself. So indeed with the kick I can usually do like the Studer and the Poltec.
Studers,
and also I think this is a little bit of compression from the stressor. Also a nice compressor from UAT. The Studer gets a little bit more grain. You can really fine tune with so this is like the low frequency. You can really pump it up,
Yeah, I love
really gets that glue.
Yeah.
And the Poltec is really the magic EQ for your low end. It really is for more warm, so get a little bit more 200 hertz, dipped a little bit, the same actually, because indeed with the Poltec, if you decrease and also increase the EQ, it gets a really nice characteristic of the EQ.
Yeah.
So it does something.
It's an EQ that can like dip and boost at the same time, and that's where the magic comes from in the original unit, right?
So I'm not sure if I did it now, obviously, or just listened to the kick and then decided that this is the way I want to go. Yeah. And of course, very important advice is to not listen in solo when you're mixing. So that's why it's nice to have the group, because then you can really decide the kick and the lady bass and also this bass from my guitar, they're really interfering with each other. So these are the instruments which are fighting with each other.
Yeah.
So I think one of the best plugins I use for this is just the let me see, it's the
Track Spacer.
Track Spacer.
I saw it already. Yeah.
Do you know this one?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's so what it basically does, it's like it's a sidechain EQ.
32 bands or something, right? 32.
What do you say?
32 EQ bands, I believe they have under the hood.
Oh, you know the plugin.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, definitely. But I don't know if everybody knows it, but it's great. Yeah, I have it as well. I've used it as well. Some people are not really excited about it because they don't know what it does, but I find I get really good results because it analyzes the other sound and has a 32 EQ band to sort of EQ match the other plugin of the other sound. So
Yeah, so indeed, so you can really see here that on blue is actually my kick
spectral
drum playing.
sidechain, says Adrian.
What do you say, Camiel? I cannot hear you when the music is.
Sorry, yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah, Adrian says it's a spectral sidechain.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's maybe even a better definition,
Yeah,
indeed. The
yeah,
spectral sidechain.
Yeah.
So indeed, it's basically taking the input of the kick and then it decreases the low end of the lately bass. So the white is actually my lately bass and the blue is actually my kick.
Yeah.
And you really can fine tune the ratio. So now it's like really not much doing, but if you do like this, you really destroy the lately basically. You cannot hear the low of the lately bass anymore.
Yeah.
And now it's back again, but I decided to do it a little bit just to get a little bit of a dip to make room for the kick, you know, to really get the sidechain.
To keep it
because
natural.
I also had the sidechain over here because I also did a little bit of volume.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really my go-to plugin when mixing low end.
Yeah.
It's
So
really
do you
best.
usually do like subtle changes, like over like radical changes, right? I see you do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here.
It's mostly subtle, so I usually switch back and forth. So you know, with the low end, so it's bus processing. I do mostly later on. So first I group them. I do nothing on the bus. So I first group them, and then I just start listening to the kick, the lately bass, and then indeed select the part where they're both playing, and then just listening. Okay, which frequency are they actually? Fighting for each other.
Yeah.
And then you can just do indeed gradual things. So indeed I removed a little bit of low end over here. So the kick is actually, I think, lower, because if I look at the kick, I also moved low end because indeed below 35 Hertz you don't want to hear.
Yeah. Oh, you have the linear phase also on medium.
Yeah, and this is also a good trick from FabFilter, which is here you actually show the lately in red.
Yeah.
And the gray is actually my kick drum.
Yeah, this is a great feature.
You can really see where they're actually clashing with each other, you know?
Yeah.
So I decided in my kick to dip a little bit of the 200, so to give more room from the lately bass. Luckily my kick is lower, it's more like the 45, the main fundamental, and the lately is more here, so they're really a little bit apart from each other, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's also why the lately really works, you know? It's really a nice sound of the bass which really works with multiple kicks, you know? It's really, the fundamentals really work together.
Yeah.
So then if I continue, so with the lately bass, what I did is make it a little bit more dynamic. So I put on an LFO on the presence region of the lately bass. So the lately is, of course, you can hear it a little bit shifting.
Yeah, nice.
And that gives it a little bit the dynamic feel. So, and I controlled it actually with the LFO. So I selected the frequency. And I let it shifting. And this area is really important for your mix, because this is like the most sensitive area for your ears. So as a human, we can hear the most in this area. So if you really want to make sure that something sticks out into the mix, you really have to boost this region. But also be very careful with boosting this region.
Yeah, because if it's like a very sharp sound, you're gonna people don't like you on the dance floor.
Yeah, exactly. So you really have to be.
But for a bass,
cautious.
it's not much content in the high end. So, but it's nice because this is like creative mixing, man. This is great. This is like a super great tutorial on mixing, dude. Because,
thanks, man. Thanks.
Like moving some frequencies in the high end of your bass to make it it's again this movement that every hit sounds a bit different again. You know, you get sort of like the idea that it's on the way. So it's really, it keeps it dynamic, so then that's really nice. In sake of time, I think we have to move on. Dude, I'm not on the clock.
Okay, me neither, but I've got a lot of projects that I wanted to show, but so
if you take as long
little steps all the way. So I need a little bit of EQ, then I got like more the saturation from the Studer, which gives a little bit more the saturation kind of vibe. This is also a lot of volume, but I just normalize it when I just go back indeed with session view. That's what I usually do. I just go back to session view and I check on the volume here. So I always check indeed if the volume should be roughly the same. So then I correct with the input and output to make like the same kind of volume.
That's super important.
And then I did a little bit of, a lot actually of compression. on this one. And I did indeed the Pultec again, and I especially indeed with the presence region again. So really make it more loud in the presence region. And then I did the dynamics. So then indeed duck it down by the kick.
Yeah.
So first I always start with EQing, just indeed removing the frequencies, and so this should be like a very harsh, not a nice frequency, I guess, because that's probably why I dipped it so.
Yeah.
You almost cannot hear it, but.
Yeah, probably have to boost it a lot, but.
Yeah, but I want to remove that part. So I first remove the things, then I do some saturation, and then you need some compression, and then some EQ afterwards, because sometimes you also lose the low end when compressing. So then usually I do like a Pultec EQ afterwards, but you can also do it before actually.
Yeah.
And then I start with the dynamics, so then ducking it down and then compression.
So you do dynamics like at the last.
No, yeah, the sidechain. Sidechain dynamics I do at the last.
Yeah.
Because the sound is right, and then I duck it.
Cool.
So that's actually the low end. And then I smear it together. So I really want to make sure that this group, it feels like a unity together, you know, to really have to group together. So then again, for a little bit analog, I put on a little bit of Pultec, but this one is actually not in use.
Yeah. But even if it's...
It does a little bit, because indeed just on and off also does a little bit with the Pultec. I think this also is not in use. And then the Fairchild is a very old compressor to also get some distortion actually. And I did a little bit of compression to smear them together.
Yeah.
And then the Studer again also to smear them together. And then the track spacer to give room for the vocal. That's also what I did.
Yeah, so when the vocal comes, then the vocal,
Yeah.
Hey,
so can I go ahead.
Ask you a question in between? I know you're on fire for Fyrone, but Jamal has a question. So would you say first compression and then EQ by the low end, or it depends on the sound material?
I would recommend doing both. I would really recommend so you have two types of EQ actually. You have the first type of EQ, I also have it over here, it's more like the corrective EQ or like the cleanup EQ.
Yeah.
So I remove the low end, because if you do not remove the low end, then this part will go into the compressor and really overloads your compressor actually, because this is a lot of energy, the low end. It's really like a lot of energy over there. So if you do not remove this low end, then basically it will feed your compressor. So I always do EQ before. Also with the corrections, because I don't want to have this nasty frequency into my compression, because then it will even it out, because the low volume frequency will get up, because that's what compression does.
Yeah.
And then when I get this correction done, then later on I will do another EQ to boost it up a little bit more. And this is also indeed maybe a dip, so not always boosting, but this is a boost. So I would recommend doing it both, because right now we're in a situation where we can do, you can have unlimited plugins processing, you know. We're not in the analog days anymore where you could use only one EQ, you can use multiple. And that's also what I really recommend with you at the Universal Audio plugins. I really love them.
Yeah, and also because if you don't EQ, then the compressor is going to react to the signal which you're not wanting, you know. It's going to react totally different if you're not EQing it before it goes into the compression. So you can do EQ before the compression and after the compression, basically.
I would recommend both, because indeed also the low end, you will remove a lot of low end due to compression. So I would recommend also bring up the low end a little bit more after compression, but it's really listening to your ears. That's
so you don't compress during the music making stage. You don't sidechain anything also.
No. I tend to do it really in the mix, because then I have full control to really fine tune and tweak it how I want it actually.
That's so interesting. That's because I do a bit of sidechain, a bit of saturation here and stuff, you know, and then I'll go into the mix. And but I mix in the same project, so that's
and also mixing in another project also saves up your CPU, so you can use more plugins in another project. So that's also an advantage, I think.
Oh, maybe I should go back to that. I tried it. I did even like mix downs in Logic sometime.
Oh yeah, I tend to go stick with Ableton. I have no experience in Logic, so I tend to stick with Ableton. I got like 12 years experience in Ableton, so I really want to stay there.
Stay there, yeah.
So that's basically the low end, and then we got the drums. And for the drums, I also indeed just correction. I remove a little bit low end, nothing serious. Put the drum bus plugin, which does a little bit for drive.
Yeah, I love.
And then I smear the tracks together with a little bit of the Neve, not that much actually.
A bit of glue compression.
The Studer also smears it up. My favorite plugins, Voltec again. And here I actually use the cassette deck for the first time, I guess, to give it more like a gritty kind of feel. Yeah, because this is off.
Oh wow.
And this is on. And really smears it up a little bit. It gets more like a
nice
distort kind of feel.
It's nice, dude.
And what I do with this is actually I always do like a dry and a wet channel. So then I can dial in the amount of volume. So the fully wet channel sounds like this, like sounding really compressed and really dirty.
Yeah.
So I really want to keep the dynamics of the original dry.
It's like parallel
and then
saturation.
I blend them in together.
Yeah.
And you get really like a smear together.
Yeah. So parallel, basically parallel.
Yeah,
saturation.
parallel. Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah. And I think I also attached an EQ to it. Yeah, to remove the low end of the wet channel, I guess. Yeah. And then again, some where was I? Some ducking later on. Yeah. Track spacer again to make room for the vocal. Yeah, furthermore, it's not very not much going on. I think with all the drums, I do not much processing. It's mostly indeed cutting the low end actually of all the kind of tracks.
Yeah, not too much.
Not too much, and then mostly it's drum processing.
Do you have? Sorry that I cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just really want to know if you know the Maag EQ.
Yeah, that's a good one for high end, huh?
For high end, yeah, it's amazing. It's like it's ridiculous. If you're such a UAD fan, I think your next purchase, if you don't have it, should be Maag.
I heard it before, and I think it's on my want list. But I have to save up for it.
I downloaded the free one from Lufticus, which it's a free version, and it sounds like also really good. I use it like on every track, and I usually put it on my drum bus for a boost, a little bit of 10K, dude. It's so silky.
Yeah, it's like, air, huh? It's really a nice amount of air. It's really good.
Yeah.
So with the drums, nothing much is actually going on.
Do you put them in stereo or do you put them in mono?
Mostly, it really depends. So most drums I keep actually in, I think most of them in mono. So right now I kept a lot of them actually in mono.
Yeah.
So I didn't do, but these ones I actually swapped around, I see. And that's basically my percussion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this loop is on the right and is on the left.
Yeah, nice.
And together they give. But this track actually, because in another track I think I smeared the drums more around actually. So, but yeah, it really depends on my mood actually, or how it sounds and
whatever happens in the project.
Because now I got some more room for the synths to I think to swap. Yeah, so I did more panning on the synths over here.
Yeah.
And the synths, I'll also combine them all together. And these are the synths, so mostly in the main break you can hear them. Let's open them up. And that's the synths. And also here you got this arpeggiator coming in. It's over here, I guess, the energy. And actually it's also, it's not much processing. It's just EQ again. To get really the low end off, to make some room. I use a lot of the imager actually from Ozone.
Yeah, it's amazing.
To get the stereo field. So I really like the stereo field of the Ozone. So this is the pad. And yeah, I really like to broaden it up, to really make it wide. So really can select the different frequencies and you're going to select how wide you want to go.
Yeah.
But you have to be cautious because indeed you can see already here, you can see the phase correlation. So nothing should be in the red actually. Yeah. Because if you go to the master and then if you put it on mono, you will lose some parts of the pad if it goes really into stereo. You won't hear it now, I guess, but yeah, you should be cautious with this.
Yeah. Hey, and what is this Tasker, or what is this thing?
Yeah, so this is actually a very nice plugin I recently downloaded, which is actually, I think it's from a Max for Life plugin.
Match, yeah.
And you can just type in whatever you want to, so it's like a notepad. So just like my whiteboard, I just type in all the tasks that I still need to do. So I can just select them and deselect them. So when I need to mix, I can just hold by like a logbook just to see what I have to do. So I describe which things I need to do. So I first mostly start with leveling. So I mostly put on like the
Volume,
it's a good tip to put the master on mono to really get like the main things.
It's like a mix checklist.
Yeah, a mix checklist,
I use
exactly.
Microsoft
And then I
to do
just
for
start
this.
with leveling. So then I just put up all the tracks, so you can really see like the different in volume. So I really select the leveling between all the tracks, which I think the most important thing in mixing volume.
Yeah.
And then I go on with removing all the low end of all the tracks to really make room for the bass, make room indeed for your compression, for your headroom actually. And then I continue with some dynamics, with the compression. I do some EQ, saturation needs to be done. I need to saturate my synthesizers. I also put it over here. I need to continue with my panning and my width, so to make it more stereo. And then I finalized mostly with reverb.
Yeah.
That's like my last part.
That's so great. It's like an inside checklist in your Ableton. This is great, dude. You are
it's
next
really,
level.
Really handy to have them, you know. It's really good to have them on the side to really see okay, which kind of parts I already did, which I still need to do. So I put it on and then continue. You know?
This is really next level mixing. Dude, this is like so. And we have 13 people watching. Everybody that's outside enjoying the heat is, well, they can watch it back. But, you know, you should be here. This is crazy.
They missed the mixing. Yeah,
they've mixed it. You became a super pro mixer, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just it trusts your ease, your acoustics, and it's experience. I think it's a lot of experience.
Yeah, and it's just also a lot of passion. You know, I can
definitely
hear the fire coming out of your steam. Yeah, you know, but it's so I also, you know, this is why we're sitting here. It's so interesting, like how you can work and how people achieve certain results, and you use a lot of plugins, but very subtly, and it really works. You know, it's nice. I think that this is a lot of inspiration for people that are watching this. It's really nice.
That's good to hear. That's of course the reason why we're doing this.
Yeah,
so that's really good.
Yeah.
So I got all my processing. The vocals, of course, the most important part in your mix. So I do a lot of sense. So I need some reverb. I put on some slap delay. I put on some saturation. I put them together. So there's a lot of happening.
Yeah.
And indeed, I always start with removing. Then a little bit of I want to give it more like a warm feel, so I increased a little bit of volume over here. I decreased a little bit of the high end. Then I did, I think, dynamic EQ, because somewhere in the mix, this frequency really gets out of hand, so it really gets annoying.
Yeah.
So then you really want a dynamic EQ to push it down, so it doesn't really fucks up my mix.
Yeah, because it makes muddy as hell, of course, if it did.
Yeah, and I think it's because of maybe the echo.
Yeah.
Maybe not here, but somewhere it goes really out of hand.
Yeah.
Not sure what it is, but I used it. No, never mind. But yeah, so it's a good tool to get nasty frequencies in control. Then of course the Pultec again, same thing. You need to get a little bit more air over here, so the 16 hertz. A lot of like mid. It is off. Really gives up to like the mid range. More warm. And a doubler. And that gives it more like a stereo imaging, like
the classic waves one always was good. Yeah.
I'm not sure if you can hear it very. Yeah, it's subtle. Mixing is always subtle, but together it's combined. These things are really great.
Nice. Yeah.
And what I also did here is indeed. So in all other groups, I actually made. I think I made room for the vocal. So indeed, if I close so I made room with a track spacer.
Yeah.
So when the vocal is playing, it decreases the volume of these frequencies in the synths. I think also in the drum bus, to really make room, because especially the synths are really into the same range of the vocal.
Yeah.
It should be here. Yeah, especially this pad. This one. That's in the same range. So this one is in the same range. This one. And the lower one. This one. And now, it gives some space.
Yeah.
Also subtle, so you can really draw in the ratio, you know. That's easy.
Yeah, I wrote down start using track spacer again.
Yeah, so that's it for this track actually. I think
Nice.
the mixing parts. I think
Dude, this was already an amazing ride. We're gonna get more.
Yeah, this is just one track. This
Yeah.
is just not even my best actually, to be honest. So let's see. So indeed, maybe the All Saints track I'm busy with right now.
Yeah, go for it.
Which is done actually. So I will just show you the creative part actually, because I also did a mixing part with this one.
Yeah.
And then I got also another one project which I'm currently working on, so I can show you how I'm currently working.
That's the breakbeat one that you sent, right?
This is this is more the breakbeat part.
Yeah.
I hope that I'm not sure if I used it lately over here. I don't think so, but of course with the delays.
Yeah.
So this is. Let's start from the beginning. Just let it hear, I guess. So this is an edit of All Saints.
Yeah, it's very funny.
How's the volume?
I think it could be a bit louder. Turn it up. Turn it up. Oh man.
Yeah?
Back to the 90s here. Everybody watching. Checking out with Fyrone.
Indeed, maybe here it goes a little bit louder, so
yeah, no worries.
be cautious.
You have some leverage though. You can put it really a bit louder.
So builds up. Little intro lead comes in over here. This is actually June again.
June is so amazing. Oh,
Builds
man.
it up, and then the drums.
Oh man, it takes me so much back to the 90s. Let's play it for a bit. Max Lightweight loves it. I know he's from the era.
How's the volume now?
Volume is good. Yeah, maybe turn it up a little bit if you have the leverage, because it's still. I think you can still have a bit of a. Yeah.
It's hard, man, because indeed, if I play the music and I cannot hear you talking, so that's
Okay, let's just shut up for 2 minutes.
louder.
That's okay.
Okay. So indeed, the drop. It sounds slower to me.
Could be that it's different.
What do you say, Camiel?
It could be that it's 48 point. What is it? I think that's it. That's because Zoom does that.
That's a pity, man, because it's much faster than this one. I also had the same thing with the rain track actually. Too bad you cannot switch this one around actually, because indeed I had it at 44K. So need to see how that works. Maybe
Zoom guys, if you're watching.
This was it. How does it sound when I put it like this?
Nice. Yeah, nice.
Yeah?
Yeah. Throw it on. Let's have a boogie.
Yeah, so I used Superior Drummer. I'll show you what plugin it is. I used some drums from the original All Saints. I put my own drums on it. And then the bass from the DX7. Yeah, let's just hear it. Guitar you're hearing? Delay?
Yeah, nice.
And now comes the famous parts. This one?
Yeah.
Vocal. Bass.
Fucking feeling. delay is sick, man. What the fuck? It's really nice. It's such a cool track. Max,
I'm very happy with this one, and I just started out with an edit. So it's just I took the parts actually from indeed All Saints. So I found a multi-track,
yeah,
which contains all these their famous. Yeah, this synth is so good.
yeah. Everybody's awake again. Max says, "What a track! Take my money." It's on your SoundCloud, right?
Yeah, no, not yet. We will release
it.
it. I think next week we will probably release it.
Nice.
We're planning to do it this Friday, but we don't have the artwork yet ready yet. So probably next week.
Yeah.
And it will be a free download, so indeed everyone can keep on downloading it forever.
Yes.
Because indeed, it's of course very. It's their property. We cannot sell this, of course.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Send me the link when you have
for me,
it.
it's just
I'll
have a different interpretation and just to share them.
Yeah, good man. Send me the link. I'll share it on the Lessons in Live page and then put it online. It deserves a few downloads, I guess.
Cool, man. Cool. Thanks.
That's amazing.
So what I did here is indeed just I found the multi-track and then did the different parts. So indeed with the vocal. And then also the backing, of course. It's very, it's strange to hear these things actually for the first time when you hear the multi-track. Yeah, this is such a nice synth from the producer is actually William Orbit, and he also produced for Madonna, and he's really cool tunes. It's really good producer. Yeah, it's such a good synth. Yeah. And then also the guitars. So he also had like the guitar, and I actually manipulated the guitar. So you hear like the guitar is this one.
Yeah.
I manipulated these guitars. These were the ones I mentioned. So these are the guitars without any effects, with a delay on it, because I got a delay on it.
Yeah.
And then with a delay. And then I used more delays and a filter freak. And now it sounds like this.
Ah, cool.
It really gives like a new dimension, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Like
so different.
Yeah. Same sound but different.
Same
sound but different. You know, you still hear, oh, that's that element, but then it's like, ooh, it has like sort of an attack coming up, like wow, it's nice.
Yeah, and this is what it does. So indeed, it just gets a sweep on it, you know. And then with the Echo Boy, I put on just a preset, and then selected just for the delays.
Yeah.
And it actually double delay. So indeed, I also put it to the send. So I also has this delay, and also has this delay. Yeah, of course.
Stacking delays like if it's all free.
You can really shape up sounds with a delay, and with a filter freak you can really be creative, and also chopped it a little bit and then changed it a little bit, you know, and then you can really be creative. So then what we have actually, so these are the manipulated guitars. Of course we got the vocal, we got the short synth. So I chopped up the vocal at different parts. So indeed the most recognizable part is of course this. Etc.
Yeah,
and then
I can sing this whole thing.
In the track, I also move on, and then I chopped up the vocal a little bit.
Yeah.
And I put it over here.
Yeah.
With the delay.
Yeah. Fucking brilliant.
Yeah. That's also good. So I chopped it up.
Yeah, very driving. It's very driving kind of, and then this vocal makes it like you're, man. It's like this could have been made. It could have been made by the Chemical Brothers, man, in the 90s. You know.
Yeah, cool.
Like
that's a big compliment.
Like
Thanks.
a Moby kind of thing. But that's what I have when you do break beats. It always gets a bit more of a timeless feel to a track, I think. You know, now I think
definitely. But it's harder to mix. So most DJs really want to have the 4 to the floor kind of beats, because indeed, also the dance floor. You know, not many people are used to the break beat, so it's really hard for people to recognize how to dance on a break beat, and they're not used to it. So
I have to say, the break beat is way more danceable. Usually, I used to talk to a lot about this when I was years ago. I was playing in the Lexion. You know, it was we were playing. They were playing like the AB what is it, ATB Till I Come, that kind of records, you know. But still, if you would play a breakbeat track in between of all these records, people would dance more.
Yeah, I
Sometimes
would
it's
go
really good
nuts,
to break
definitely,
it
because
up.
it's
Yeah,
really a
it's very
variation to all the
danceable.
other
Yeah.
tracks, of course. So that's really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, but also Joko's moving more into breakbeat.
Yeah, Joko has.
Jack is
I
making.
think he makes one of the best breakbeats at the moment. It's
Yeah.
but also the old school stuff from the '90s, like Bushwaka, is really
Yeah.
one of my
Yeah.
big inspirations. Like really good breakbeats, really,
Yeah.
and also EO, yeah, also EO Mullen, he also
Yeah.
nice breakbeats, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
it's so nice. And also to switch up your production process, sometimes I'm just sick of making the just let's
yeah.
make something else, let's try breakbeat or make something ambient, switch up the workflow and freshen up the mind.
Yeah, and that's exactly indeed what we do with the remixes from me and then Haas. So indeed, he makes this a four to the floor, and then I make a breakbeat. And when I make a breakbeat, he makes a four to the floor, or the other
Super
way
cool.
around. So then you really get a dynamic EP. So then that's really good. I think.
Nice, very smart.
So if you continue on the track, so I use these parts, I chopped them up a little bit, and then made my own drums on it. So my drums actually on this track are, let me see over here. So this is part, and I have two parts of drums. So I actually have the drums of the original drums from All Saints. It's this.
Oh, yeah, cool.
And I chopped it up in a little bit multiple parts. So I had like the intro. It's more easy.
Look
Then
at
you
the
got
warping.
this part.
Yeah.
This is more heavy. And I got the triangle part with the triangle in.
Yeah.
And then I switched these one up in my arrangement. So I use this one as a backbone, actually, as a layer to go on.
Yeah.
And then I incorporate my own drums. And the best thing I got is actually this one, and that's a real drum kit. And
Superior
most of the
drummer.
drums are coming from this drum kit. I bought this plugin.
Yeah.
And it's an expensive plugin. It's like €300 or so. You get like 200 gigabytes of sounds, but the sound is so amazing. It's just
Yeah.
this is the drums, and you can just select all kind of grooves. So you can select here like which kind of grooves you want. So you can just select, I want this one, or I want this one, or like I want to have more like a pre-chorus. And it sounds so good, like a real drum kit. And you can also strap it up. So now I have like this sound going on with the Premiere set from George Masselberg, which is a very good producer actually, a sound engineer. And I can just switch to a completely different sound set with the same. So I can just go to indeed. I got this one now, and then I go to like a metal kit.
Yeah.
And then it sounds totally different.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually still loading.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then I can go to like a more like a electronic kind of set, which is over here, and then it goes really deep. So
This
so
is
different,
also
but
nice to make some really strange fucking abstract techno.
yeah. So this plugin is really, it gives some really organic sounds,
Yeah.
So what I basically did, I just selected the verse, and then I just copied. So I pasted it in here. So the easy thing you can do is actually, if I like this kind of groove, I just stop it, and then it's still playing. I just drag the MIDI file over here, and now I got like the full drum kit over here, and then I can just here the volume goes out. But then you can really swap it up, and you can really change the MIDI notes. You can really select which kind of things you want.
Yeah, it's a bit like the Native Instruments kind of thing, with the contact. You have this West Africa. You can make a loop. You can drag the MIDI out of it. So if you're ever looking for great bongos and congas, just go to your native. If you have a native instrument, you can just do the same thing. You can find nice loops, change them a bit, and change the kit, and then drag out the MIDI. It's such a great,
Yeah, it's it's also very dynamic, and it really is like the best sounding plugin for
Superior
for
drummer. Duly noted, man. Fuck, you're gonna cost me money.
Yeah, and I also want to make more like down tempo kind of music, so I really like to have the more like a real drum kit available. So it's for me it's a nice cool kit.
Yeah.
Also Rossi, I talked with Rossi about this kit because he was also looking for more organic drums, and he also I showed him this kit, and he was like, "Whoa, sick! I really need to have this."
Yeah, I used to use a different one. What was it again? You had this Superior drummer. I had a different. That's like 10, 12 years ago, something like this also.
Yeah, this is from Toontrack. So that's the maker. It's called Toontrack.
Toontrack. Yeah, there's another one. Real drums? No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not sure.
there's a competitor, so I'm not sure what they did. I stopped using these analog drums. I got the native. I'm not so rich, but nice. Yeah, yeah, cool. Tell Rossi that he's also welcome in the Dive and Live
Yeah,
show. I'd love.
sure, I will. I will.
I listen
So
to his
so
podcast a lot.
what do you say, Camille?
I listen a lot to his podcast.
Homegrown.
I think yeah. So I think he did one with Sota. So I invited Sota for the show as well because I know him from back in the day as well. But I'm a big fan of all these live sets. If I go running, I always listen to these sets. You should do a set
Yeah,
for him, man. Homegrown.
I have done a set with him actually, man.
You've already done it. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
well, so me actually, and also Jack also did one. Then Haas did one, and Close to
No,
Custom also did one.
no
So
shit.
the
I've
three of
missed
us all
those.
got a set on Homegrown actually.
Oh, I have to look back because I've listened to the one from Sidney Charles, the one from what's his name? This guy was it more minimal kind of guy? Was it Is it Nathan or something? No, different name. I don't know. But I've listened to a few of them. But nice. But did you do it a long time ago? Then it's not recently. Right?
Yeah, I think it's maybe a year ago already. I think.
Yeah. See, I just found out like 3-4 months ago, so
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
But it's also nice because he really introduces the artist. He tells a little bit of story about
Yeah.
them, and it's really nice to hear him talking. That
So
way,
you're
actually.
already on there. Nice. I'm gonna check it out, man. I really
Cool.
these homegrown things. Great.
So so for the drums, the fundamental is actually indeed the drums. Then I combine them, lay them with the original ones,
Ooh la la.
and then I added the fast heads, which is just a loop. It really spices it up. Shaker,
Yeah.
some kind of percussion. Another shaker. Bongo. And another slow perk, I called it. And then some breakbeat highs for the top end. And then there's, yeah. So all these individual things.
It's more reverb
like-
than you used on the other track.
What do you say?
It's more reverb than you've used on the other track. This one is more boomy and lots of reverb.
Yeah, lots of reverb indeed, but that's also because indeed the Superior drummer has more reverb on it itself.
Yeah.
And also used, maybe, I'm not sure if they used the convolution, but yeah, it's only for the vocal, I guess. So this is still not the mix project. So this is still the creative project.
Oh.
So I also mixed this one in another project, and then I decided to dial in the reverb because indeed I usually send my tracks to Den Haas, to Jack.
Yeah.
And this is one we're probably gonna release on Resynance. And then we'll feedback each other, So you also mentioned that there was too much reverb on it, so I decreased it a little bit and on the mix session,
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah. Good feedback to have. It's always nice to have a good buddy.
Yeah, definitely.
Tells you like, hey, dude, take it
so
easy.
the drums, I got this one is also a lot of reverb on it.
But it sounds great though.
It sounds great,
Yeah.
It really gives like a little vibe.
Yeah.
And then I have the top end, which is just a breakbeat loop, but then without the low end.
Cool.
But it gets too boomy. And then indeed with the bongos. And then I really did the question and answer things, So they're really talking to each other.
Yeah. Call and response. Yeah.
Yeah, call and response, exactly. And then the shakers, and then in the mix session I actually did the panning. So one of them go to the left, and the other one go to the right, because now they're really clashing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
And in the panning, I think I did one go more to the right, and now you get much more stereo imaging.
Yeah, and there they have space. You can hear them.
And now you have space. Yeah, so that's what I did in the mixing session. So I didn't do it here. This is just be creative, focus on the arrangement, focus on the loop.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the drums actually. So that's, and then I basically started with the bass of the DX7. So then the bass actually this one.
So.
Just the preset.
So.
And then I decided to do a little bit, filter a little bit, get a little bit drive. I think think I removed some low end because it's still a lot of low end, but I also do it in the mix.
Yeah.
And then a little bit indeed with the filter again. So I then introduced it a little bit again with the filter. So indeed, it fades out, as I already mentioned in the Rain track.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is necessary because that's a hard thing in the mix is actually that I also use the bass of the All Saints, which is a very nice bass because it sounds like this.
Oh yeah.
It sounds so good. So I really want to include this bass, but the thing is, if you put it together with my own bass, it really gets clashing.
Yeah.
So I really have to make decisions. Okay, which bass where? Because if I combine these two, it really doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, smart to do it in the break like this, and then have a bit of a rest from the other bass. I think it's well executed, my friend.
Yeah. So from here you got really energy, and then this bass goes out, and then this bass comes in. Filter. And then doing a lot of things with delays. I'll show you. And not here maybe, but you hear a little bit of the tail of the echo going on. I think it's more here. Because I increase the sense to the echo, and then so it really gets. It doesn't get really dry when it comes to the drop, you know? It really fades out a little bit.
Yeah.
You hear it coming on the back. Now it's dry.
Yeah, yeah, nice.
It's such a difference. So if I put on the same drop, but then I put this one off.
Yeah.
It's such a difference.
Yeah, it's super different, yeah. So there's two techniques. I use the delay a lot myself as well. I really like to create long delays with exactly the same thing with echo. I sometimes make it even longer and then I filter it away and I filter it back. You know, I really like this technique.
So indeed with filtering, indeed you can really use the frequency, the filter. I did it here in the end at the outro, so I really filtered out the delay. So it's also a good tool to use.
Yeah.
So I use mainly the feedback and the filter indeed to wrap it up a little bit.
Yeah, I love this technique, man. But for people, it's really hard to understand because what you're sending it to a return track, and there you automation on the return track. For people, it's just like what?
Yeah, you have to understand it a little bit. Indeed,
but it's nice. You can do so many things.
So indeed, you send a little bit of signal to the delay. So the dry signal just comes to the delay, and then you manipulate that dry signal into an echo. That's basically how it is. And then indeed you modulate the manipulated signal. Yeah,
and because it's on a return track, you have a sort of like a delay. It's like it becomes a new element, sort of like a new element.
It's really a creative element. So especially echoes, I really use them creative. That's a creative element. Nice. And important to know is actually the resonance on the delay. So I put them on very high always.
Yeah.
Because then you really get the singing around of the echo. Yeah. If you really put the resonance really high, then it really begins to sing around these frequencies. It begins to sing. Yeah, so I usually put it at like 2 or like 200 because not too low because you really get mud. And here's more like the warm kind of sound. Maybe you can also put it a little bit more up. Yeah. So it really gets singing around over here. So that's really
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, a nice thing to know.
Such a cool thing.
So what else do I have? So here's a little bit of automation going with the lead vocal. And I think it's, what is it?
Yeah, these vocals, man. Every time I hear it, I just want to sing along.
Yeah. So I put a delay also on the vocal. So it also, it's a little bit of a mixing technique.
Yeah.
This is dry. Oh, I should put this one off as well. I've crossed deserts for miles, and then I decided to modulate a little bit with the echo, but also with the parallel. I've crossed deserts for miles, swam water for time, searching places. It really gets a rhythm. A piece of something to call mine. A piece of something to call mine. Compared to there's already a delay in it because there's already a delay in the original track, but it really vibes up the track. You know, it really gives it a little bit more alive. In my view. Yeah, put the low end off. Yeah, just some extra automation, just some extra dynamics things. And then the outro, I also liked this part actually. So going from really busy mix, going to the dry break. All the drums go off. And you really hear the delay coming back. And that's, yeah, the delay is very important on the end, because then it really doesn't get very abrupt.
Yeah.
And then the outro, and then I decided to come back to this little synth. This is the intro of All Saints.
Yeah.
And then I decided to give it a little bit of extra. Bass comes back. Did a little bit chopping with the vocal. This one.
Yeah.
Synth comes back from the beginning. And then it's done. Yeah, so that's this one, man.
Well done, my friend. I really, really like it. I can't wait for it to drop, man. I'll share it if it's out, and I'll share it on my timeline.
Cool, man.
It's
Cool,
really
man.
nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So I also had this one indeed in the mixing project, because, but yeah, I think that's mostly the same techniques I used as with the Rain one. So that's the same process.
Yeah.
I also with the grouping, and then indeed with the EQing, compressing, etc.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, the same kind of process. But yeah, this one I'm very, very proud of this one, because it's really nice to have the multi-track of the original, and then really chop it up and really make your own sound of it.
Yeah.
It was a little bit cheesy, because indeed this part is really a lot like the original, so indeed it's really sketchy. But that's why we give it as a free download. It's an edit. It's
but
based
also
on
it's nice with the breakbeats that you made it like you really. It's really a different vibe than the original, but it's hard to make All Saints not cheesy, But
yeah,
it's
exactly.
such a classic.
Not to make it all cheesy.
But what year are you from? Are you what year are you from?
I'm 1990, man.
90, yeah. So you were, you did got a bit of All Saints,
Yeah, I did definitely.
Yeah.
There was the golden era. It was really really good.
I do feel that the 90s
nostalgia,
Yeah, I do feel that the 90s were like, pop music. Maybe I'm just getting old, but pop music sounded like way better. I don't know.
Way better. Yeah,
it's
I think from 2005 or 2000. I think starting from 2007 or so, that kind of period, all the way to, I think maybe even now, although now it also gets sometimes a little bit better.
Yeah.
But then the pop music was really good, man. It was really in the 90s until 2005, 2007, they were all the big tunes.
Yeah,
were all
man, they had
to.
messages, even though they were sometimes bands being put together by managers, they were still sort of like, they had a dream, and they had like, and now it's sort of like very forced or something,
Yeah, it's much more commercial, I think. It's much more about the
Yeah.
image. It's much more about the commercial kind of stuff.
Lost a bit the soul.
It's less about the music, I think. It's more about the money making, more about the image of the artist and the appearance, etc. And
Yeah.
if you think back, indeed, in the 90s, I didn't went clubbing back then, but indeed, if you think back about how it goes back then, you get a piece of vinyl in your hands from a big artist. You don't even know how he looks. You don't even know what is. Facebook didn't even exist. There was no SoundCloud. You just had the vinyl.
Yeah.
So it was just pure the music, and then you booked that guy based on that vinyl, and now. You have to have like good pictures, a press kit. You have to be present on social media. You have to be regular output. It's much more than only music. So in my view, it's much more. It's not the good thing, but it's more mandatory to also have a social image these days.
Yeah, it's different. Back in the days, you had these guys sitting at home only making music, and they were too scared to go on a stage, so they could make a lot of money selling vinyls. But when that crashed, then
of course it's much more convenient now. Of course, when I go to a gig and I bring my my MP3s with me on a stick, it's much more convenient than carrying all the records. But still, I really love the feeling and the authenticity and also the uniqueness of vinyl. So I always like to play hybrid. Always some vinyl and always some some
Yeah, it's
digital.
nice. Yeah. I at some point stopped playing vinyls because I bought this vinyl from Ion Ludwig from Koos
Yeah,
like
yeah,
years ago. It was 3K Loudwiggle, and yeah, actually I brought it. I think I played it in Paradigm at some point, and I don't know. These nights get pretty wild, and they got a big scratch on one, and it was one of my favorite tracks on the album. I was like, so I contacted him. Hey, do you have another one which I can buy? But he said, no, man, I only have like two or so for myself, and I want to
yeah.
keep those. I said, that's too bad. And that's also beautiful, but it's also, every time I take out my vinyl and if it gets scratched, you can't fix it if it's the limited version or something.
Yeah,
That's
so that's indeed also, you have to be careful for your vinyl
yeah.
then. That's
It
yeah,
makes
but
it
indeed I
yeah
agree with you. An MP3 can be replaced, but
yeah
but
yeah
maybe that's also because the vinyl, because it's very very how do you say it? It's very you have to be careful with it, so you have to be
yeah
really take care of it. You don't want to lose it. So then I think you take more care of your vinyl collection than you take care of your MP3 collection somewhere in
that's
the
true, man. And
2000
yeah,
whatever.
definitely, and it's also very important to just purchase the music. You support the cause as well as you've spent some money on it, so you care about it a bit more, and you really thought about your purchase. So you're not, if you're downloading, then you're just getting all this crap, and you're not even checking it because it's all free anyway. There's no value in it.
Yeah.
I don't believe in just
Yeah, so I
downloading.
still believe in limited edition vinyls and
Yeah,
just limited edition. Yeah, so it really gives unique things. But the hard thing is actually that some of the vinyls I bought, so especially the ones from E.O. Mullen, so indeed the white loops, I really
it's a
like
good
them.
artist
They
as
were
well.
vinyl only, and then
Yeah.
later on they all come on Bandcamp, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm not unique anymore. I don't
Yeah,
have.
yeah,
I'm not the
yeah.
one who have them my own.
Yeah,
That's,
send him an email.
for me,
Hey,
it was a
dude.
pity. But of course, when I don't have the vinyl, of course, it's very good to have them also on Bandcamp. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Well, nowadays you can get an NFT MP3.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's very unique.
Yeah. Let's see where. You get. Okay, yeah. There's a blockchain with the number. So yeah, it's now it's $500.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, that's the way it goes at the moment, I think.
Yeah. All right. So,
So
this new one.
I got another one, which is I think yes, I'm making which is finished at the moment, and it's actually it's called So one guy is called Salman Azhar, and I really was inspired by his sound, and it was really. Yeah, that sound was really, really great for me, and I really want to make some kind of track like he did.
Yeah, his name is Solomon. Solomon.
No, not Solomon, actually.
No, but it sounds
I made this
like-
one on my old laptop,
sounds
but
like
I
Solomon.
exported it on my my Amex.
Oh, yeah.
Some plugins are actually not working,
Yeah.
and this is just a completely original one for me. And the original track is maybe I'll send you later.
The one that inspired you. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will send you later. So this one is the original one, and I'll let you hear.
Yeah.
Let me
play
tell you let me tell the volume and also the speed maybe.
Yeah.
That should also be let me see. Should be louder. Louder, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So this is the intro. And I started out actually with some waves. Vinyl crackle. This is my guitar actually. My bass guitar.
Yeah.
So really slow build up. It's a long track, so I will probably skip it because it goes like 8:30.
Wow. It's beautiful.
And this is also again the non-mixed
Non-mixed.
version.
I
So
hear
this
it
is
in
really
that snare.
a raw sketch again, so
Yeah.
it doesn't really sound that good yet. But I'm actually mixing this one at the moment.
Nice. Keep him busy.
Yeah, now the sub comes in, and I think that's from sub and bass.
You
I
gotta
really like
love
this
Lil
one.
Papa, yeah.
Echo.
Nice.
More minimal vibe. Yeah, now my lately comes in. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah. It's a bit late. Lately.
That's pity.
Yeah.
Put it off then. Some CS80.
Yeah. Arturia in the house.
And then we skip it a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a pity that the lately doesn't work. But then if we skip it a little bit, then over here we get like the main break.
So, this is nice.
Fade out the bass. Begin with echoes. Now my real bass comes in.
Too bad lately is not working.
Without the lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really miss it now. Building up again. Building up with the 808.
Lovely tune.
Some extra pads. Lead. I was also delaying it.
That's too bad, man. We need to wait for the full track to go.
What do you say, Camiel?
That's too bad. We need to wait for the full track to come to hear it.
Yeah, it's a pity, man, with the delay.
Yeah, no worries, but it's nice. It's you have a really great arsenal on tracks, and this one is you said a bit more minimal, but it's also again this sort of like breakbeat kind of vibe, which is nice, and it's very musical and organic. I think it's really refreshing because a lot of stuff, and I'm also guilty as charged. We make a lot of the same stuff, recently. Lots of people make the same.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I really try to
be
unique and stay unique, but it's
also
hard because indeed I know that if I make a track with just a 909 and just a lately bass and just a vocal and just 4 to the floor and just a standard kind of procedure, then I really know that it will be a hit. I just know that if I make this, then I will be a hit. And then that's for me, it's too easy. I really want to make unique music that people will remember. Oh, what is this kind of track? That's hard to really come through. It's really hard to release at certain labels. It's really hard to make the DJs play that kind of music because it's not what they're used to. So that's hard, man.
No, I think it's props to you for doing your own thing and not making concessions in that way. It's always the choice that you can make as an artist. We're gonna go for reaching a bit more people or reaching maybe a bit less people, but then make something from pure interest and pure
it's just passion for me. I just really like to make like unique music.
Well, you made that clear. You've been on it for 2 hours almost, and I have to say you're a very passionate person when it comes to this, and I'm really, really excited that you've shared so much information. We had steady 13 people. And they have not left, so
that's cool.
Says
that's
a
cool.
lot, It's like, and I think a lot of people, it's just hot, People will be outside, and we haven't been online, so maybe the algorithm is a bit against us. But dude, this was one of the most. I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to get on it.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I have to work on my web shop, and I'm pretty busy lately with lots of private students, and I'm building a sample pack. So I'm still making. Then I make loops and I render it all out, but I'm not allowed to finish it because I need to finish this sample pack for my web shop launch. But this really inspired me to get back into music. I made super lot of notes about the synth Taurus, the track spacer, the superior drummer, and it's been super inspiring, man. This was one, but Jason agrees. This was one for sure, one of the most informative streams.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jason, was it?
Yeah, Jessin Rodenburg,
Jason,
always
thanks,
watching.
Jason.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Jamal was really happy. It's a very nice session. Yeah, man. It's you don't come across people that are this enthusiastic, and also you know what you're talking about. You've been using those years, and also this sound education course to
Yeah.
really spice it up. And then you've got Jack and your friend Remco to spar, to go back and forth about techniques and how to, how just the thing, how to make music. And yeah, it's nice to see how far you've come and how interesting your music is, and actually how timeless it sounds, man, with the breakbeats and how unique it is compared to a lot of stuff out there. So I'm really happy
Yeah,
you showed
that's a
this,
lot
man.
of positive words, Camille. So really thanks indeed, and also for inviting me, of course, in this session.
Yeah,
And indeed, it's I can just recommend, just if you love music and if you love making music, just go on with it and just follow your own sound and go
yeah,
for your own thing you want to make, and suddenly you find like the golden thing which you really like and also others really like, and then just keep on grinding, make your own sound. But I think being unique is really the most important thing, actually. Just make your own sound and really distinguish from someone else.
yeah,
Look at Joko, he's making with these steps and with all these kind of breakbeat stuff he's making at the moment. I
yeah,
think he's really unique,
yeah.
Also
These,
Stassi,
yeah,
because Stassi
yeah,
indeed with his sound is also, that's basically the PFE sound. He
yeah,
made the PFE sound, and there are many copycats at the moment which are making exactly the PFE sound, which I don't really like because that's not original. But
yeah.
that's mostly how it goes. You have
It
one
happens.
person which really
Yeah,
puts on the fundamental of a certain sound, and then later on, they build together a big sound together, the
yeah.
PFE sound, for as example. But also, and then that's really cool. And then later on, you should move to something else. Really move and build something new. Also the guys from Another, they're also making more like a more old school house kind of vibe. And that's also
Yeah.
what Close to Custom, my good friend, also does at the
Yeah, I'm
moment.
also really into the classic. I just like to use the 909 and just add some vocals and make it very like soulful kind of vibe. I really like that at the moment, But I think it should also be something that you're personally engaged in. And I can understand if people jump on this sound because the sound that Piff started making just. It's nice music, man.
Yeah, sure.
If I listen
Yeah.
to it, but yeah, there will always be when something becomes more known, lots of people start doing it, and but then there will always be something new, I guess, to come. I was listening to Jan Red this morning
Yeah.
in the
Well,
gym.
that's just, if I can show you one more thing, because I was
I
actually.
saw it, the Generate Dub. Yeah, yeah,
I
just show it,
actually,
man. Yeah,
it's
dude,
like a big inspiration as well,
Yeah.
man. Because this guy with the synths, he always lays down like such a unique sound.
Yeah,
And
it's also nice, and I can really hear. And I was listening to a DJ set he did for Fuse, and I could really hear. Oh, this is like the DJ Janaret or something. And it's still you can hear, or he just played a lot of own productions, but you can really hear the creativity. It's also not your standard house groove. It's like lots
yeah,
of
it's unique,
yeah,
So
yeah.
actually, this is a project which I just started. So this is just a project I'm just making, and I actually got inspired by indeed a DJ set of Generate. So actually, I ripped the DJ set and I just took the part, and the part is actually. You have time, Camille? By the
Yes,
way?
yes, yes. Let's I'm not on the clock, so so
Sure. So this is just a new thing I made, and this one is actually the part that I really got my attention, which is in the DJ set. We were listening to it lately, and
Yeah.
it was just wow. I'm not sure if it is generated himself actually. So let
Oh,
me
yeah, it's the last trick.
volume of this one. Good volume.
Yeah.
I think it's Generate. But it's like the breakbeat with all these pads and synths.
Yeah, I think it's him. So yeah.
It's also deep and clubby, It's just, but also euphoric and melodical.
It's a great last track.
This is last track in the set.
Yeah.
And yeah. Crazy. This was my inspiration, man.
Nice. Play your bit.
Yeah, and that's of course how it always goes. So you have one big inspiration, like this is what I want to make, and then suddenly you come up with something completely different, So
Yeah.
I have something completely different. So I'm actually arranging this at the moment.
And do you? That's what I wanted to ask earlier. Also, do you use Session View to arrange?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
to record the parts. Yeah, I also like it to do like this.
So I just had like the full loop. So first I made like the loop in the beginning. So I first make the loop over here.
Yeah.
Just like a 9 bar loop, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I do export, consolidate to time to new scene.
Scene. Yeah.
Then you can consolidate all these parts to like one big part.
Yeah.
And then you can, and I call them full, and that's where all the parts are together. Actually, that's the main loop. And
Yeah.
then you can switch on and make like the
Capture
things.
and insert scenes. Yeah.
So now, if I can, so I just started this one out. So I started. It's totally different than the track you just heard, but it's something. So I started with actually this, with the pad. I should maybe put the volume louder because it's better.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, nice.
And then I have my push, so I just go on with the next scene. Wait for it to end. And just go through it.
Yes.
Drums goodbye. Skip a little bit faster. And my guitar actually. Bass. Real bass.
Nice.
And then we go do a little bit of silence.
Drop. Yes.
And then you build it up a little bit. These are the rights from Superior Drummer. So the big plugin.
Yeah.
This is my guitar. Three comes in. Break, I still need to build it.
Yeah.
And then we go back to the drums.
Nice scene. Great beat.
That's this one. Double bass. Yeah. And that's it actually.
Yeah, well done. Jamal is asking, do you play this guitar and bass on your own by yourself?
What did you say, Camiel?
Jamal is asking, do you play this guitar and bass on your own by yourself?
Yeah. So actually this is a recording actually of my own bass. So
the vendor.
Yeah. This is me playing on the Fender I just showed you.
Yeah.
A little bit of amp.
The guitar amp. Is that from Waves?
Yeah, it's from Waves actually. Yeah.
Man, I know my shit on it.
And then also the acoustic parts. I also indeed.
Oh, because you also have an acoustic guitar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the acoustic guitar I just played. I'm actually not a good guitar player, but I just jam a little bit. And I put on a lot of reverb and then it sounds good. And also the harmonics. That's this one.
Cool.
There's also the guitar.
Yeah. How cool.
And it really fills up like really gives it like a mellow kind of vibe, you know?
Yeah, really jam vibe. Yeah.
I also started with this is also sound, so it's just a beach actually. It's just a beach, so that's how it begins.
Yeah, you hear these
This
kids
one.
and stuff.
You can hear the beach.
Yeah, it's like I'm in Valencia.
Yeah, it's actually Spanish, and I put some delay on it. It gives it a little bit more spacey.
Yeah, yeah, nice.
See? And now now it gets more like you're on acid or so, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And I use this actually as a noise, as intro to build the vibe, and also with this pad, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually from the Obi. I'm using this one recently.
Oh yeah, also
The
from
Oberheim
yeah,
from
man.
Arturia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, yeah. I just got the whole pack. I'm still like, man. Yesterday I was playing with the CS unit. There's so much. There's so much to discover in the Arturia pack. If you people watching, if you want to buy a really good pack, you can go on
Arturia,
Splice. It's $25 a month. It's $500, so it's 2 years. And you get 20 synths for $500, and they're the best, like classic old school synths, and the presets are amazing and will inspire you greatly. Hey, also somebody's asking, Yesin, do you use external effects with the guitar, or do you use guitar in the guitar in the box as well? The effects. Well, you use the waves. I saw you use more pedals, but do you also have hardware pedals for your guitar?
No. So the acoustic guitar is actually the one I recently got acoustic Fender. So I also got the Rode microphone. So I recorded this one just dry, you know.
Oh, nice.
And I use all the effects actually in Ableton because I like to record it dry, and then later on, if you record it dry, you can really manipulate with all the effects later on. So because if you record it with the effects on board, and you record it, then of course you cannot edit them later on.
Yeah, yeah.
So of course the sound of some effects is really good. So I would always recommend to have a dry single, to record a dry single alongside the effect path.
Yeah.
Because then you can really decide, okay, I'm gonna go for a dry single, I'm gonna go for effects, I'm gonna combine them, etc.
Yeah, yeah.
So for the acoustic guitar, I don't have any effects. It's just actually, yeah, it's just the reverb actually, because A and C are the reverbs, the plate reverbs and the convolution. Yeah. Because if I put them off, it doesn't sound like it. It's so bad, but then with these on, it sounds so mellow.
Yeah,
it really sounds like you're in Spain, man.
Yeah, exactly. I feel right at home.
Yeah, and, there you go. So for the acoustic, I don't use any effects. For the bass, I also, indeed, use the plugin in here. But indeed, a good amp is also recommended, to have a good amp, and also to have your good settings on your bass guitar, because you have multiple pickups you can select. So which kind of sound you want, really, it's important to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is not released because he's still busy. So Adrian asked, "Is this released?" No, but it will be.
No, it will definitely be released, and I'm just working on it. Actually, I just started working on it because indeed I got inspired by Generate.
Yeah, Generate, man, I really like.
I'm working on this one actually, but it's more like a down tempo kind of vibe. You know, it's not really a clubby kind of track because it's hard to know where this one will go. You know.
Oh, it's very playable, my friend. Very danceable. So
what do you say, Camiel?
It's very danceable and playable, amigo. So I think
maybe a beach, maybe at a beach or so, you know.
No, but also like this part, you know. So I think if you have a part without a lot of musical effects, it's also very danceable. So if you at some point drop a lot of the musical elements and have a section for the beats, it's actually pretty like I want to dance kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, that's exactly why I did this, because indeed it's very melodical over here.
Yeah.
Without the basses, and then indeed with the pads, I put it low. And then suddenly we go to dry, and that's indeed boom, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeehaw, you know?
That's really danceable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm working on this one, man. I'm curious how it will go. But indeed, I arrange in session view. So I record all the sessions, and then just keep on duplicating your sessions. And then later on, I will just play them and record them. And then you got them. Actually, I got a little bit already here, but I think I'm not happy with this yet. So then you record them, and you can basically just record your complete arrangement, and then you can chop up your tiny parts and do details. You know.
Yeah, I also do. I show this in my advanced course, how to jam or how to just arrange. You know, but this is a proper track. Yeah, Max Lightweight says, "Loving this track. Take my money." Then Ha says, "Yeah, nice days. Let me know, Jack, when you want to come in. You know, it's nice to have you guys on here." So, Fyrone, my friend, you have been inspiring today.
Thanks,
It's
man. Thanks.
it's ridiculous. It really, really, I've really enjoyed so much your passion and everything you showed. You know, I guess I know everybody learned a lot from this session and got at least inspired. Somebody already said I've got my Ableton open here. Jamal said, I think it was Jamal, or he says, I already have my Ableton open. Can't wait to dive in. Oh, that's
That's
the
good,
whole
guys.
point. So
That's the reason we do it, you know, to
mission
inspire and
accomplished.
to
Yeah.
let others see how it goes and how you can process your sounds and how you can be creative. And that's why also you do it, you know. You have also the passion for the music. You combine it indeed with teaching, you know.
Yeah,
So that's
exactly. Yeah, I don't have so much time recently, but at least at least one release for this year will come in November, and me and Ari are working now. Ari is a bit working more than me, but yeah, I will have time soon when my web shop's full and my sample pack is done. Then I will make a lot of music. But it's so hard when you make a sample pack. You make super nice loops. You go like, I really want to finish this, but I need to use the time to finish it because there's a lot of time that goes in a sample pack, you know. So maybe in
yeah,
the future
definitely.
we can do
It's
something.
focus.
Yeah, maybe in the future we can do something like this. Maybe you want to make a sample pack for lessons in
Sure,
live. That would be
sure.
cool. Yeah,
I'm definitely open to that,
it's a
Camille.
cool job, man. It's really nice, and also you make a nice library of your top loops and your bass loops and music loops and background sounds and noise loops. It's so cool to make these things yourself and to, you know. I'm also planning when my parents come. I get my recorder and I can go inside of Valencia, record some noise, so I can just put some noise loops like recorded live here in the
Yeah,
city and at the
that's
beach.
really good idea to do.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Do you actually know freesound.org?
Yeah, and that's actually what I want to mention because that's actually where I had the beat
The
sound
sounds
from.
fun.
I
Yeah,
just
exactly.
showed you.
Yeah, yeah. So people, freesound.org. It's a great place for
Yeah, it's
finding.
actually a tip I got from Jack. Actually, he showed me indeed, and I now have it
Nice.
in my browser, so I don't forget it. So
It's very
as a
classic.
bookmark.
I've been using this, I think, maybe 14 years or something.
Yeah,
13,
wow! I
14.
just recently using it actually,
It's a
like
very old
the
website.
last year or so.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very old website, but you can go. You know, I used to like Google it with my friend. I made music back then, and we were like, okay, let's find a beach. We find a beach in Hawaii or something. Somebody that records something, and then we made a track, and we started recording the lyrics. The lyrics of the track were me reading what it was. I recorded this at a beach in Hawaii, and you can hear the sea going. So I was like putting these vocals in, and we tried to put these vocals in the track. It was so fun. So yeah, freesound.org, man. It's great. You can find
Definitely recommend it.
anything.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. So yeah, man, let's call it a day. We need to go for a walk.
Yeah,
It's been
definitely,
a
man.
good session.
It's dark outside, huh? But it's still nice weather, I guess. So
Yeah, yeah.
indeed, it was a good session, and thanks for the invite, Camille.
Yeah, yeah, man, and you're always welcome back. So let's say end of the year, early next year, I'll definitely invite you again. I'd love to get people back on the show sometimes as
Cool,
well. So
cool.
you're always welcome, man. With this type of energy, man, it's amazing. So thank you for taking the time, and hopefully see you at some point. You know, if you're coming to Spain, let me know, and if I come to Holland, I'll also let you know. I'm definitely going to be around for ADE as well. So you know, maybe I'm staying close in Noordwijk. So then I'll hit you up. You know, maybe we can do a little studio session or something. Nerd
Cool,
out
cool.
about all
Definitely,
these
man.
plugins. Cool. Okie dokie. Well, everybody, thanks for watching. Fyrone, thanks for sharing. And see you guys next week. We've got Razi Z, which is our friend that does more melodic music on labels like Pipe and Pochette and lots of other ones. So stay tuned for next week. And much love to Fyrone and everybody at home.